Hey everybody, I'm just looking at all the diagnostics for the stream, making sure everything is being sent correctly to all of our various services right now. So just bear with me. For some reason, I need to get a little bit more proactive about this piece of it, but yeah, it takes a second. Just got to validate that we are definitely getting data out to everybody correctly. All right, everything looks like it's relatively stable. I was getting a bunch of alerts from my streaming system letting me know, hey, you're doing it wrong. This is all messed up. You're sending the wrong, you know, as they said, keyframe was wrong. So, um, so I don't know what's going on with that, but my keyframe is currently set correctly on my end. So here's hoping that. Yeah, see, they're saying the keyframe's off too. We're just going to take a second, people. I need to make sure that I get this right because I don't want to run the whole stream in the incorrect settings here. So bear with me. We'll be picking right back up here in just a moment. Just hang tight with me. Thanks for your patience. All right, yeah. So people that I've got in various locations here, just sound off if you have any sort of issues with the stream at all. Looks like we're good. I mean, seems like it's fine to me. Seems legit. I'm going to continue to monitor this, but for some reason it's saying that my keyframe interval is set to 5 when it's clearly set to 2. For people that don't stream or know what I'm talking about, it just basically means I'm sending data at a rate which is incompatible with the service. But the thing is, I am sending it at the correct key interval of 2 seconds. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. Again, I'm just kind of like bouncing between all the different streams right now and validating. Looks good to me. So it looks like, yeah, they're good. And looks like, just checking on Smashcast to verify they have a quality view. Yep, okay, so they look fine. All right. D Live, how are you guys looking? Looks good here too. All right. Well, I guess we'll just call it good. I'm not going to spend the whole stream trying to figure out what's going on with the stream here. So I wanted to start off with some nice little fun way to start the show here. So I actually got a call earlier, and I think I'm going to start making this into like a regular thing for this show as a little segment. I think we're going to start calling Scam the Scammer. So let's have a watch. So I got a call just now that I didn't take, but then they followed up with a text message. And what you're seeing on my screen right now is what is on my cell phone screen. I got a notice from some number claiming to be Chase Bank. Well, the first thing that any of you should do whenever you get a notice is don't. Oh, what is going on today? All right, let me fix this real quick. The video is not displaying on screen for me. Just a second. God, this is so obnoxious. This might be a little cringy for everybody watching. Just hang tight, hang tight. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, so I'm gonna. Yes, I'm playing a video. I recorded this earlier because I didn't want to have to do this and kind of figure it out on stream. So let's, I'll turn myself off here and turn the watermark off there. All right, cool. All right, so I'll just, hopefully this should just play just fine. All right, here we go. Try again. So I got a call just now that I didn't take, but then they followed up with a text message. And what you're seeing on my screen right now is what is on my cell phone screen. I got a notice from some number claiming to be Chase Bank. Well, the first thing that any of you should do whenever you get a notice is don't take the notice at face value. If it claims to be from a bank, independently go to that bank. If it claims to be from a website, independently go to that website. Don't follow any links or calls or numbers or any sort of means provided by that service. You want to get there the way you normally would, because that breaks the chain that they're trying to set up that will eventually lead to stealing your information. So this is the actual message I got from this, obviously a scammer. And I thought, well, why don't we have a little fun with this? Why don't we scam the scammer? I made a virtual credit card number and I'm going to give them a call, but I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of knowing what my cell phone number is. Now I'm going to make a virtual phone number as well so that they also don't get a legitimate phone number that they can spam later. So let's give them a call right now. So I'm going to put the actual audio from this on the air here.
Please enter your debit card number, followed by the pound key.
Why would they just ask for the debit card number outright? It's because they want to steal it. All right, let's go. Okay, here you go. Have a number. Go ahead.
Please enter your debit card PIN, the same PIN you used at the ATM.
Okay. This is creative.
Debit card PIN, the same PIN you used at the ATM. For your security, what are the last 4 digits of your social security number?
For my security, okay.
We regret to inform you that due to suspicious activity on your account, your debit card has been temporarily locked. In order to unlock, we need to verify your identity by entering some of your information on file. Please enter your 3 digits card verification code as it appears on the back of your card.
All right, I got that too. Let's go.
Please enter your 4 digits expiration date as follows. May 2016 will be 0516.
Okay.
Now, please enter your 5-digit zip code associated with your Visa debit card.
Let's do...
You will be required to confirm your full name. After the beep, say loud and clear your first and last name, and press pound key.
Nice try, jackass.
Please wait. Your account has been successfully verified. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause.
Oh,
Thank you for using Chase Bank. Goodbye.
enjoy.
Bye, have a great time.
All right, so you saw how all that went. It's the takeaway that I wanted to kind of get to everybody on that one was you don't ever follow whatever means this person claiming to be a authority or someone you trust. You never follow what means that whatever means they provide. So your bank calls and they want credit card information, or your bank calls and they want any kind of identifying information at all. You say thanks for communicating that message, whatever it is that you were trying to communicate, be it that my account was locked, that whatever. I don't care what the message is. It could be something as benign as, hey, we just need you to reset your PIN. Hell if I know. There's so many different scams that are going on at any given moment. So I'm not going to sit here and try to enumerate every single one of them. The bottom line is you get a communication from someone who claims to be an official that you trust. You don't trust that person to with the information out of hand, because what you're basically saying is that anyone can call you up, text you, email you, whatever, and pretend to be anyone that they want, and you will give them whatever they ask for. I could claim to be from the government. Please give me your social security number. Okay, cool. Here's my social. No. I am going to go to the government on my own terms, and I'm going to give whatever information it is that they're actually asking for. Because I guarantee you, if they're from the real authority that they're claiming to be, then they won't have any issue with that. In fact, they'll probably respect the fact that you've done that. Now, credit card companies, debt collectors, they will also do the same thing. For anyone that's had less than perfect payment history, I'm sure we've all been in that situation in the past where you get a call from some sort of collector. Yeah, in that case, I also do the same thing. They call and they claim to be from some loan, for some credit card, from some whatever. I say thank you for that information. They definitely will always try to keep you on the phone because they actually get money from collecting that from you right then and there. They get a little piece of the action for having collected your payment or whatever. But even then, I don't trust some random person that's contacted me. I go to that credit card, that bank, that loan, whatever, and I actually connect to it the way I normally would and pay it the way I normally would, or see whatever thing it is that they're like this. In this case, it was that it was locked. Okay, fine. If it's actually the real company, then they won't have any issue with that. If it's a debt collector, they'll try to keep you on the phone until they get the money from you. But you can just politely decline and explain that it's because of security reasons that you cannot take unsolicited communication from any bank or whatever. And if they keep talking, just hang up. There's nothing stopping you from pressing that end button. What's more important, being polite or having your identity stolen again? Because I guarantee you, almost every person watching this has had either they or someone they know have been a victim of identity theft at some point in their lives. So yeah, that's just the nature of the world we live in. You cannot trust just because someone claims that they are. So yeah, that's the kind of takeaway I wanted to communicate there. So while we're, just to kind of like segue on into the next deal that we're doing here, I wanted to, let me see if I can move this around. It looks like, oh, I'm still hidden there. Let's put me back up on here. All right. We'll put this up here. All right. So we need, let's see, it's this screen. All right, cool. So I have a question to ask everyone here. Have you ever tried to learn to program or tried to do anything involving getting started with programming, or in any way wanted to dip your toes in and figure out, even at a very surface level, how do you do any of this? What am I supposed to do? Well, the catch with that is, do you ever just sit down with a pile of clay and, well, as if everybody has clay that they play with on a regular basis, but have you ever known or had the occasion to play with like some kind of clay or Play-Doh and sat down and gone, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I've got clay. I need to make something with it. And you find that you've got your brain just freezes up. Maybe you think of some stupid thing like a little clay person to make, but then you get those circumstances where you just already know what you need to do, and the process almost completes itself. You're like, oh yeah, I want to make a dinosaur. All right, so I need the spikes here. I want to put the teeth here. All right, I know what they're supposed to look like, and your brain just sort of completes the dots for you. Well, the same is definitely true for programming. So when we're talking about programming, I want everybody to think about what it is that they're trying to accomplish. Because if you just simply come into programming and you don't have a thing you're trying to accomplish, you don't have some problem that you're trying to solve, then you're not going to be able to learn to program very effectively. You need to have some kind of inspiration. You need to have a goal to shoot for. And if you're just learning programming just for the shits and giggles of learning programming, that's not an effective way to learn. So I'm taking something that is kind of a pain in my ass for a while, and that is Minecraft servers. So Minecraft servers, dedicated servers, are very handy, but very buggy, very crashy, and they always run inside of these command windows, which are these really kind of just boring. They've got functionality, like I can execute commands inside of this. So if I scroll up to currently where I'm at, all right. So you're looking at our Minecraft live server here. So if I do say, hey, this is Blackburn, what's actually happening is in the server, inside the game right now, if there's anybody inside the game, they would see the server saying, hey, this is Blackburn. Okay, cool. That's kind of boring, whatever. But I mean, I'm kind of limited to just being able to execute commands by typing them in here. I can do things like help, and I can see, I can ban, I can admin, I can look for other things. There's all bunch of different commands I can execute, but it doesn't have the ability to check itself. It doesn't have the ability to make sure that it's working correctly. It can't self-correct. It can't do interesting things that integrate with anything else. It's kind of an island unto itself, both in terms of the program and the server itself. So I want to make a wrapper for the server so that I can execute any kind of command I want against the server. So you might find that this is actually a pretty handy technique. If you have any kind of Java program, you can actually execute by just trapping the process. So I always use Python. Python is my go-to system for programming. I know a number of other languages, but Python for me is the most direct route to a solution. It works reliably. It works at pretty huge scales if needs be. And it works in a lot of places. And it can be compiled. Yes, it can. Python can be compiled. It can be compiled into a nice, neat binary that you can execute on, as long as you cross-compile it. You can compile it for a number of other platforms. Because I know there's some people out there that have dealt with programming languages and they're going, well, Python's great, but I can't compile it, so it's not really portable. Actually, you can compile it. I'm not saying that it is as clean as C code or assembler or Go or hell, even in some ways Java is almost, can be cleaner in some ways. But the bottom line is that Python is what runs many information security tools. It runs cleanly in basically every OS, and you can run it pretty much anywhere. And they've got packages to support everything, including interfacing with Java. So what we're going to be doing is actually trying to write or begin the process of writing some software to interact with the Java server console. So this guy right here. And in the process of doing that, we're going to kind of learn some basic Python processes and how to get started programming in Python. So the most important thing that I want everyone to take away, the most important thing here is that Python has an old brother, and it's called Python 2x. So there's Python 2x and Python 3x. Python 2x, as of this recording, it's going to die very soon. It's got, as of right now, we're in March 2019, and so far we've got 9 months. Sorry for the we got some guy doing yard, looks like lawn work outside. Probably some kind of lawn leaf blower, whatever. But Python 2.7, the 2x branch, that's going to die in about 9 months, less than 9 months actually. So the thing that I need everybody to take pay very close attention to is that if you care about your code and you want it to work, you need to be in Python 3. You need to be Py 3 every day. If you have something old that's still running Python 2.7, and yes, there are a number of very large companies that still, for some reason, are running Python 2.7. Looking at you, what is it, Streamlabs? Streamlabs, the people that do all of the alerts and nice events and things for this very stream, they have a Python library that is Python 2x. Should not be that way. They have had years, literally years to get this right. Still haven't done it. It's inexcusable at this stage. So yeah, Py 2.7 dead. Python 3 there's no discussion to be had. If you're coding in Py 2.7, you're wrong. So what we're going to do to get started is we need to make sure that we've got Python. So you're going to be just doing a quick Google search here. You'll want to download the latest version for whatever platform you're using. So I like to go to the all releases section here. And you can kind of see they're still offering Py 2.7 as a download. Release date, March 4th. That leads you to believe that this is the most recent build, and it is not. It is absolutely wrong to download that version. So I can understand the confusion people are having. You need to be looking at Python 3x. So there is Py 3.7, and I do like 3.7. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty sweet. There's some nice upgrades in 3.7. But for purposes of kind of simplicity and making sure that we don't have any unknowns here as far as like new processes that I haven't looked at thoroughly, I have coded pretty extensively now with Pi 3.6. So I would recommend, and unless you've got by all means, use the latest version of Pi 3.7 that you can find, or the latest version of 3x that you can find. That's perfectly fine. And if people are going to be probably watching this later on, these versions will be superseded from what you're seeing on the screen. Those will be easily replaced, and there'll be even higher versions. There's nothing wrong with choosing those later versions. I personally just have a lot of code that's coded in 3.6 specifically, and I don't really have any issues with moving forward to 3.7. I don't want to do that on the air, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like testing things, live demo here. So what you'll be downloading is a version of Python for your specific operating system. So if it's Linux, for those that are watching in Linux land, there is a binary package you'd be downloading. And for those people, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to jump through some hoops depending on your distro to get the correct repositories, all that happy stuff. If you're on Mac, Mac is fine. I'm cool with Mac. You'll be downloading that version too. There's an OS X version here. For the majority of people probably watching this, you will be downloading from Windows. The Windows binary is literally nothing more than a little executable you execute. You're going to tell it to launch and put the Python binary in your path, and it'll say path as capital P-A-T-H, path. And that just means that the Python binaries are available without any special configuration directly from any command shell. So it just makes them more handy. So you're going to download Python, install it specific to your version of whatever OS you happen to be using. Next, you're going to be wanting the PyCharm. There's a number of development environments for Python. It comes with idle, which is kind of like I would consider kind of like a basic development environment. It gets the job done, but it's not particularly great in terms of like what features it supports. PyCharm is free, and you can get it for practically any version of whatever OS. It's Mac, Windows, Linux. Come on, what excuse do you have to use something else? Unless you've got a specific compelling reason, I would just go with what we're doing here. I've already downloaded and installed PyCharm because obviously that's my baby. You'll be installing PyCharm, and you can kind of just follow the basic prompts. There'll be a section in there where it's asking for plugins. I personally like the Markdown support plugin, just so that it makes it a little bit easier to work with Git repositories, and you can actually visualize the readme.md files in Git repositories. If you aren't an avid programmer, a lot of this is going over your head, but that's okay. Most of this stuff you can just click next and you're done. Next, you're going to want to launch your PyCharm. I'm going to launch it up right now on my end. All right, PyCharm community, cool. So this is loading up a kind of a skeleton project that I had. For you guys, you're going to be probably seeing just a basic. Let me close out of this. Let me close this project real quick. You're going to see something kind of vaguely like this. You'll want to go into your configuration settings here and go down to Project Interpreter, and you go over to the gear and hit Add, right? And so you're going to be doing Virtual Environment, and you'll want to select your Python 3.6 binary. For the most part, that's going to be automatically detected, so it's not really that big of a deal. If this is blank, if this base interpreter section is blank, then that's where you need to take the time and actually go find where that is. Figure out where you've installed it. Okay, fine. Then you can just hit OK, name it, whatever. What that's doing for you is it's creating a virtual environment. Virtual environments make it a little bit cleaner to develop code because they kind of sequester the rest of your code from the rest of your system. So For instance, maybe you installed a program a couple months ago that gave you a particular package that allowed you to do some cool stuff, and you didn't realize that you happen to be using that package on a program that you're making. Well, then you go and give it to your friend, the program, and the Python program, and you can't figure out why it's not working the same on your system. Well, it's because, or why it's not working the same on his system. That's because you're running as a global package. So there is the option here to run as the system interpreter, or you can do inherit global site privileges and make available to projects, which kind of does something a little bit similar. The thing that's kind of scary about that is if you program with global packages, global to your whole computer, anything that you happen to have installed or tweaked, configured, will bleed over into whatever program it is that you're trying to work on. That can be good and bad, but it's definitely not helpful when you're trying to figure out how to get code running on someone else's computer. So for my part, that's not very, it's not an advantageous way to code. So I do new environment, leave everything unchecked. You want to select, where your environment's going to be stored. And then you'll get a VNV, a virtual environment. So for this virtual environment, I can actually go into, for instance, this is Observe MC. It's the project that I kind of started up already. So Observe MC is the application that I'm going to start working on that will actually monitor the server process here. So it's going to be hooking the server process and pulling in that system so that we can actually just send any commands we want using Python code into the jar, into the server itself, which kind of gives us some interesting concepts here. So I wanted to be the ability for people to do like PayPal subscriptions to the stream, or Twitch Prime subscriptions, or whatever service you happen to be using, and have that feedback to a webhook API that then through a couple of processes ends up getting ingested by my Python code here. And then I can whitelist people who are subscribers to the stream. So if you sub, then you can get access to the stream, to the Minecraft server here. And I wanted to try to do that in an automated way, and there isn't really. So that's, necessity is the mother of invention. So in this case, this is how we're going to approach it. So the requirements for this system are defined in the requirements.txt. This is kind of just it's a non-Python program, or it's a non-Python file that identifies to people what is needed to make your program run. So requirements.txt is actually generated by executing a pip command in the console. And it's, I guess for completeness, I'll grab that real quick. Let me move this out of the way real quick. So let me grab the command, because I don't claim to know everything, and I don't claim to remember everything, but I do take good notes. So what I did was, in case anyone didn't realize or notice, you've got these buttons down here. They are your version control. So if you are using Git, you can see whenever a change was made, or that you need to upload a specific change. You've got the Python console here, which lets you see what's going on in your Python interpreter inside your virtual environment, mind you. And you can execute arbitrary commands inside the Python console. And also, we've got the terminal. So we're also inside of the VNV, the virtual environment, and I can execute commands native to this little virtual container that we're running in. One of them that we're actually interested in, and I'm going to go ahead and clear out this requirements.txt. I'm going to save it, and just to prove it, I'm going to reopen it. It's blank, obviously. So what I want to do is I want to package this up in a way so that people know what I am asking for when I say to run this program. So when you run this, you need to have the following packages installed. Cool. So paste, pip freeze, all right, and then where did we get up? Pip freeze, and then we're going to send that to requirements.txt. So pip freeze just captures everything that's running in that particular VNV. In this case, it's VNV observe MC. So hey, it kind of rhymes. The virtual environment that this program is running in, and we're just going to get a snapshot in time of what's required. So it's kind of complaining about, hey, you need to upgrade your pip version. I'll do that eventually. We'll worry about that later. But now we go to requirements.txt. You see that it actually has all of the required parameters in here. And I show that right at the beginning because that's something that we're going to be executing throughout this process, where we clear out the requirements text and we pipe in a new pip freeze. And we do that just so that we can have the most up-to-date requirements.txt should someone want to run this. Setup.py is very similar in that it kind of just tells everybody what this is about, what it's for. We'll have additional data points in here as time goes on, but this is just kind of a skeleton file. Now, the part that matters is this guy. So I've been doing my Python programming for a minute, and I have kind of a baseline set of things that I like to put into all of my programs. You know, this is kind of difficult for everybody to see on the screen, so I'm going to go ahead and change my... Let's go ahead and change my view here. I want to make this a little bit more legible for everybody to read. So let's go to settings. Again, sorry about the lovely leaf blower outside. Appearance and behavior. When you're inside of PyCharm, you're going to get the option to have all of your menus like this, where they're kind of nested, and you're trying to find something you don't know where it is. You can just go up to this little search option here, font. Bam, right there, font. There it is. So, and it shows me everywhere that a particular option would be. So I'm going to change this back to IntelliJ, so that it's nice and bright and white for everybody to see. Yeah, that'd be nice and comfortable to read. And I'm also going to change the font in this case. We're going to up it to, what about 16? This is going to look like Play School, but it will be a lot more legible for everybody. All right, yeah, okay, so that should work. Cool. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, and there's also going to be some other options in here that I would invite everybody to pay attention to. We have the option to verify that we're writing code correctly while we're writing it. So this is under your, so we'll minimize this. This is under editor. And if you go down in here, you're going to see we've got an option for inspections. So these actually do matter. When we're coding, we try to follow the same, at least a vague idea of what good code looks like. And in Python, we've got the PEP standards. The PEP standards define what we've sort of standardized on as being the correct way to write. With Python, it's very flexible in terms of how you can do things, but they generally try to keep it standardized. So we're going to go in here, and I'd like to just sort of make sure there's a specific option in here, and it's called PEP8. So PEP8 is a specific coding style defined by the PEP standards. It is PEP standard 8, PEP, whatever. Somebody's watching this later is going to, hey, it's not a standard, it's a RFC. No, it's like, fine, whatever, you know. Like I said, I don't claim to know everything. I just claim to take decent notes and know where to look stuff up. So in this case, we're looking at the PEP standards. PEP8, I want coding style violations. Check for violations of the PEP 8 style coding guide. Okay, so cool. We want that to show up as a warning, not a weak warning. Naming convention violation, I want that to be a warning, all right? And part of that is just because I want it to be a little bit more in my face that I'm not coding correctly. There is another thing in here, line length. Okay, so inspection warns you if lines are longer than the right margin parameter of the code style warnings. So this is something that I personally don't abide by just because I actually have dyslexia. I actually have like clinically diagnosed dyslexia. So for me, reading very condensed text in where they've had to break it off repeatedly can get very difficult, especially with some of the line breaks. Depending on how you're viewing the text, it can get really difficult for people with dyslexia. So for my part, I actively disable this. Let's see if I can edit severity. No, that's nothing exciting there. So I actively disable this because I don't want to be bothered by that. I don't like that. I understand the reasoning for it, but it just makes the code look gross. For my part, I like when I'm referencing a specific variable, I want that variable to be on one line, even if that line is a million miles long. I like it to be on one line and being able to just nice and neat, just read that line. And again, that goes back to my personal dyslexia. Other people will have no problem with that and they'll go, hey, you're an idiot. Why didn't you have any, that shouldn't be difficult. Learn to read. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Thanks. All right. So let's look further in here, making sure that there's no additional items here. We'll probably have more things eventually that come up, but the PEP standards are kind of your starting point. And yeah, okay. And the line length for some people is something they care about. Okay, so now we've got our inspection set up. Finally, all right. Sorry about that. I know that takes a while. Project defaults. Don't add that to Git. All right. Man, this text is still really tiny. I want to change that. That is still exceedingly small. Settings. Editor. Font. Monospace. Let's do 18. Right. I'd like this to be a little bit more legible for everybody to read. Source code. Losita console is pretty. Consolata. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna bump this up to 20 though. Yeah, no, it's play school huge. Oh, dang, and this is tiny too. All right, well, we'll worry about that later. So now we're looking at this kind of baseline code that I got started here. Yeah, I'm just kind of checking my timers here. All right. What you're looking at is a framework that I use for a lot of my systems, for a lot of my code. I use requests on a lot of things. I use JSON, time, IP address. A lot of these things are kind of baseline. I do a copy pasta where I've got all this information kind of stamped out for my systems. And I like to use the Apache V2 license. It kind of falls. I took an inordinate amount of time kind of reading through a lot of the different licensing models. It's the one I like. That's included here, sure. Development status definitions. This is for people other than me to just kind of like understand where I'm coming from, where, what the thought is behind different things. That I enforce PEP 8 compliance. That's a thing. Again, this is all just sort of boilerplate, what I drop into everything. And you notice I can kind of expand and contract these things. So I don't have to look at all of this code all the time. If it's not relevant to what I'm looking at now, I can minimize it. And in fact, I can do the same with all of these different function definitions. So these definitions. This little block of code right here is my boilerplate notice that I use Py3.6. It's called f-strings. They're a Python 3.6 plus, so they're in 3.7 as well. And maybe also in future versions for people watching this in the future. Py3.6 came out with these nice little things called f-strings. It lets you easily make substrings that you can kind of sub in and out specific pieces of data in a string without having to jump through a lot of hoops. It's actually really simple. You just type f and then your text and whatever variables you want to sub in, you just put them in curly braces. Easy. And I could probably, if I skim down through here real quick fast, we can probably find an f string that I've got buried away. In fact, why don't I just do a command F here, print F. Okay, so here's an F string. So this is getting a variable, or actually this is getting a function, get time string, and whatever that returns, in this case it's going to be a string of text showing the current time, and it's going to put it inside of these curly braces. So the thing that we're interested in displaying just gets pulled in one line, and this is a literal dash. It's just a dash within the string, because again, we're still inside of this string. And then notice text, that could be whatever we want. It's variable text. So we've got a variable, technically a function, but produces a variable output, and then another variable. And that's all inside of an F string. This would have required this little tiny piece of code, this, where we're at 37 characters. I'm like looking at, people can see it. I'll get down. 37 characters. Let me move out of the way. I'll move this up. So, yeah, that way. Yeah, up there. 37 characters. I'm kind of trying to get used to pointing to stuff on the screen. This little TV weatherman kind of skill I'm trying to develop. Takes a little while. But 37 characters is all that this took. One line and 37 characters. But there would have been quite a bit more to do this without F strings. It would have required a number of extra sub outs, and you have to, it's kind of obtuse, and I don't actually like using anything but F strings. So call me lazy, but to me, for my dyslexia, this is a lot easier to read than the old way of subbing out characters. And just to give you guys, I do want to give you guys a little bit of a demonstration of what I'm actually talking about. So let's look for Python 2.7 substring substitution. Probably, yeah, a little typo there. All right, so Python string. So, not that one. String variables. Let's do that. So substring, a string, Python strings, Python education. And the reason I'm looking this up is that I don't want to misquote here. Value of pi is string pi, yes. Okay. Unlike Java, the plus does not automatically, okay, sure. Print raw, okay. Yeah. String methods, string split. So there's a number of ways to do this. Okay, so this is the way that I've seen this in the past. Now I'm going to copy this into PyCharm so that we kind of can see these things side by side. All right. D, huff, puff, house. Okay, so to do exactly what I'm doing here, all right, to do this, 37 lines, 37 characters, we would have to have done, let's do print. Thing is, print in Py3 is with parens, and if you were to do this in Py2.7, it would be without. But in Py3, we always use parens because it is a function. So get time string. So man, it's been a while since I've done strings this way. I've been in Py3.6 for a while now. So let's do that. And then do %s. All right, and then afterwards we've got to do, actually, yeah, I can do that. Let me do the divide symbol deal, whatever it is, modulo. Okay, get time string. And I'm just demonstrating how obnoxious the old way of doing this used to be. All right. 2. So 2 memories, 4 formats. See, I apologize in advance for anyone watching this going, what the hell are you doing, Blackburn? You're totally right. It's because I don't code this way. I code using F strings. F strings are so much easier. You already can see that the act of doing this requires a lot more effort. So, and just for baseline to comparison here, to accomplish this same here, I'm gonna literally copy their code. So let's do text. Hello, text equals F, and then we can, well, we don't really need to sub, I mean, it's a, whatever. Let's say it's already a variable, so, I mean, this is already text, so it's kind of silly to sub it in, but nonetheless, this is how you do it. Huff, and we can actually just copy this whole string. So instead of using these placeholders, we would just simply say huff or variable or, you know, substring or function or class or whatever, doesn't matter. Huff and puff, and I'll huff puff. I say left out blow, whatever. Blow. Wait, and I'll blow your house down. So I know what it's trying to say, but I feel like something got clipped off here. Oh, it duplicated it. Stupid. Huff, and I'll puff, and I'll sub this guy out. All right, there you go. So you can see it actually takes up visibly less space, and it's a lot easier to just literally read. You can just read the text right in line, and you don't have to guess what it's trying to accomplish. You can just, well, not to say that you're guessing with the old way, but this is a lot more intuitive to someone reading this. So yeah, that's an F string versus the old string substitution method that Python, prior to Python 3.6, Python 3.5, and prior 3x versions, and of course all of Py2x had this old string substitution method. A lot of OG, old school Python developers have gotten into the habit of coding this way, so you'll see it a lot, and that's all the difference is. Some people don't like using F strings because it kind of locks you into Python 3.6 plus, so 3.7 and all the current versions. For me, if something makes the code easier to read and thus debug and thus, by extension, potentially more secure or safe or reliable, then just do it. It doesn't add or do anything to hurt the code. And all it's doing is basically saying, this is only compatible with current versions of Python. Okay, so update your Python. What are you doing running old Python? You can get the current version. It's not hard. It's not as if you got to pay money to do this stuff. So yes, all that to say, that is why I like F strings. All that to say, that is why I do it that way. Again, kind of landing back to the dyslexia thing. So those are F strings. What I've got is a few baseline variables. So I'm going to go through all of the baseline definitions, function calls that I have in most of my programs, just to kind of give you an idea of where I start. So of course we've got the sysversion info deal, and these are done this way so that they're compliant with older versions of Python. And it just kind of alerts people that, hey, you need to update your Python. Next, we've got get time string. And for me, I like to document my code. So I have doc strings. These are just comments in the code that simply state what's going on, what it is expecting, what does it return, what is the return type. So in this case, pulls a human readable time of day string, and it does nothing but simply grab that information and return it back to the calling function. So it just does string format time, hour, minute, seconds. Sure, fine. Really simple, small code. This one makes use of that get time string. So you can see the F string right here. And that just simply runs the whatever code, whatever notice text you give it, it just prints it out. It's a consistent way to get all of your notices or console-based notices into a single spot. It just standardizes it. It's nothing too exciting. I could honestly do that with one line of text, but trying to encourage reusability of code instead of constantly making one-off code base tweaks. So get date time string, again, kind of the same thing. We're returning a specified string format that is compliant with every file system in one way or another, and prevents you from having formatting problems later on down the line if you are trying to save files to the file system, like log files and things. This one I like in particular. I actually snagged this guy off of a, what is it called? It is Stack Overflow. So this was a Stack Overflow resource, and this is kind of cobbling together a couple different proposed solutions into one that I personally like the best. And it was kind of a collaborative community thing. So whatever, where are we at? 367 characters with 8 lines. Big whoop. It's not like I'm, taking all of the code. So some people are like, well, why didn't you comment where you got it from? I don't know. You're just Googling shit and you just want to get the code done. You don't think about where you got it from, and okay, fine, I'm moving on. So that's where this came from. This was actually a Stack Overflow solution that I've kind of tweaked over the years now to be something that works for me. There is a certain case where this might cause a zero division error because whatever function called the progress bar says, gives you some kind of weird variable causing it to throw an error. That happens occasionally. Fine. It just passes. It says, okay, fine. I'm not gonna bother with that. If I needed more robust error checking or error returns, I'd do that. Not interested in doing that right now. This is like a skeleton code, all right? So that's what this is just a basic progress bar, and it indicates progress with these nice little squares that look pretty cool on the console. And it can be variable bar length. By default, it's 50. And you'll see that in a lot of my code, and that's actually what's causing this. Is we're just taking the total percent and dividing, rounding, converting it to an integer, multiplying, making it percentages. You know, just some basic grade school math stuff. The standard out write is the kind of old school way of writing code to the console. It writes it in a way that allows you to write back over the text if you're not doing a carriage return statement. So you can actually just keep writing over the same line. And in this case, that's beneficial for the progress bar because you've got to continue to fill this progress bar up as you go. So you want to write over the same line over and over. So that's what that is. And Python, ew, gross. Hating on the Python. Shh. Hey, when we get into working with Kali Linux and actual like hacking, pen testing stuff, don't worry, it's coming later in the stream. Guess what all the tools are written in? I'll give you a hint. It's not C. Most of it is not Java. In fact, I don't think any of it's, well, maybe like one or two in Java. Very few in Ruby. What is it written in? Python. Yeah. So in my line of work, Python is king. If you can code in Python, the world is your oyster. If you can code in Java, good job, I guess. C, props. C is difficult. C is a challenge because you've got a lot more work managing your memory space and all that. There's a lot more rooms for problems, so it's not easy. But I don't like C. It's just too much work. So I got to ask, Mr. Let me try and read. I work at your local 7-Eleven. I love it. So I work at your local 7-Eleven over on Twitch. You don't like Python. What do you like? I want to kind of get your feedback there. What is your preferred coding language, if not Python? I guess while we're waiting on that, kind of proceed on here. So I've got my next block of code here, which is, well, actually, I kind of skipped over my status codes here. Oh, keep putting a break in there. So status codes, this is a nice, clean status code indication system. I went through and painstakingly grabbed every single HTTP status error and put it in as a nice text variable that I can comfortably return back to whatever system I'm looking at. So the reason why this is handy is if you're, I don't know, but Python gives me a headache. Okay. So let's take a look at this. So it's worth having a look at the alternative here. So I'm just gonna kind of jump over. Let's look at Clojure. Okay. So let's look at Clojure. All right. Let's do basic hello world. God, I'm trying to find some half decent user Clojure type lang symbol user. No, it's not actual. So what I'm getting at here is that there are a number of languages out there, and a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on what they think looks good and looks clean. In the case of things like Clojure, there are very gross. So you think what I was doing is gross. Try to decipher what the hell this is doing. And somebody that's probably coded in Clojure is like, oh yeah, that's super easy. Oh, it's so simple to look at. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that is after you've been coding 100 hours in Clojure. Okay, fine. Cool. Let's take a look at C examples. So C, I'd like to create a pyramid pattern. All right. So this is C code. All right. You've got to keep track of your brackets. You've got really no requirement on spacing. So they put this spacing in here just to make it look pretty, but in reality, C doesn't require that. They could actually code almost all of this on one line. So every line has to have the delimiter at the end of the line. Spacing doesn't matter. So they could have just smashed all this together, and oftentimes they do. Yeah, from a lot of people, it is more familiar. But just bear with me here. So this spacing is entirely up to the user. So there is no requirement on the person coding this code to make it look pretty. They could smash all this together and it would functionally do the same thing, and there would be nothing stopping them from doing that. They could put, and I want to actually show you this because this is a thing that I see people doing, and it is absolutely a pet peeve. I'm just gonna create a new blank file. Example ex.c. No, don't edit it. All right, so here's the C code we just looked at. You see PyCharm doing actually a pretty decent job colorizing it for us. So C code doesn't care. I could do this. I could do this. And in fact, this is what I see a lot of developers do, especially the junior kind. They'll do this shit. And okay, maybe they'll do that. Okay, maybe some of this. Now we smash it down. Okay, yeah. Technically we're still running the same code, but you can see how that looks versus from where we started, which was that. This is beautiful code. This is clean to look at, and it's easy to debug. But the reality of a lot of these languages is that you get something closer to this. And when you're trying to debug that, and maybe it's even your code, but you're trying to go back and fix your own code, and it's difficult to read your own damn code because you're in the moment and you didn't think about it, and making it work was more important than making it look pretty. Fine. I understand that. Believe me, I know. But this is how viruses get started. People make code with holes in it, and they don't realize there's holes in it because of the way that they've coded it. Like the way that the code is structured lends itself to creating errors that are later exploited by people like me. And so I like C. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with C. But if I'm going to code something, I'm going to prefer Python, because Python uniquely requires you to make beautiful code. So while this code is made by somebody who knows what they're doing and looks beautiful, but doesn't have to stay that way. It can look any way that they want, and they could have coded it horribly. Python says, no, you are going to code it properly, because indentations matter in Python. You'll notice that in Python land, I don't have these curly braces that I have to delimit function calls with. You don't have to deal with, you can deal with closing brackets, but only for specific items which are like JSON objects, things like that, where you've got to enclose usually a variable inside of something else. But it's not traditionally something you need. You don't have to end every single line with a semicolon or what have you, because a number of these languages require that. Because again, spaces matter in Python. It matters, the depth of these indentations matters. And you say, well, crap, that's got to be a pain in the ass to deal with. We're in an IDE. Duh. If I want to add additional items to this code, guess what? I just hit enter, and it keeps track of the indentation for me. And because it's literally what you see is what you get. There is no, oh crap, I forgot to put another. No, the spacing is correct. You're done. That's all that's required to define something like this. This is a function call. So this function call is defined by literally nothing more than these spaces. And that's handled by my project editor, this IDE, PyCharm. So the act of making a new function is literally define. This is my function. And all right, cool. All right, and print hello world. Done. That's it. And how do I call that? All right, so I go later on in the program, I want to call that function. All right, I call, this is my function. That's it. That's it. Oh, well, that's easy, but how do I accept input? Okay, fine. Here is a variable. All right, hello world. Let's print out something in hello world. Here is a var. Wow, that was hard. Okay. This is my function. All right. Cheese. Hello world dash cheese is what's going to print now. That's it. I didn't have to put any extra semicolons. I didn't have to add curly braces. I didn't have to worry about any of that other BS. I didn't have to like sit there and count, okay, did I do it right? No, it's all literally just right there in front of me. And if I've got a function call that's a little more complicated, so let's go down to a while statement. Even the while statement itself it starts with nothing more than a regular colon, just to say this is a while statement. You know, you got some for these if statements, they do the same thing, same for function calls. And then guess what? It's another block of spaces. That's it. And I count these out, 1, 2, 3, 4, bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, bam. So you want to indent once, that's 4 spaces. And again, this is handled by the IDE automatically. Hell, even Notepad++ does this. So this is trivial. And I can just look at, I mean, just look at this code. You can just tell me while true, okay, answer variable equals prompt for input. Okay. And if it's not that answer, then return response. Okay. That was difficult to read, right? No. And I don't have to guess what's in this if variable because it's only this one indent, right? And same for this guy. The code just, you can just read it like a human being and it works. You don't have to sit there and parse out like, okay, what does this mean? And again, let's return to our Clojure example, because Clojure is kind of what I would consider as the grossest of gross, in my opinion, my 2 cents. Trying to read this shit is ridiculous. All right. Now the step up, the improvement from that obviously is going to be C, but again, you could just as easily get this garbled shitstorm of code as you could a nice, clean, indented, properly delimited block of code, right? Well, in Python, it always looks like that. You have, and if it doesn't look like that, your interpreter will tell you. So let me just say, oh, I accidentally deleted, I got a wrong thing. Oh, look, instantly tells me that something's wrong. And I can just look at the code and I immediately know that that indent is wrong. Fixed. That's it. It's just that simple. There is nothing else that you have to sit here and try to figure out to understand this code. The code basically writes itself. It's trivial to read. So that's kind of my passionate appeal to you. I work at your local 7-Eleven on Twitch. That this stuff is great to get into if you're interested at all in information security, pen testing, hacking, or just doing things that were never meant to do them. Python is probably a good place to start, and this is a great reason why, is that the code is so simple to read, debug, fix. We've got great utilities like PyCharm that effectively make this into the most accessible programming language that I personally have ever dealt with, and I've dealt with quite a few. Yeah, so that's kind of what this particular stream is about. So who's asking, you know, people can see the chat up here. He wants to get into hacking, but doesn't know where to start. So there is an element, there's a couple different domains to hacking: pen testing, white hat hacking. There's reverse engineering, which is taking code, pulling it apart, finding the vulnerabilities so that you can use those to leverage some sort of exploit. That's reverse engineering. That's definitely a more advanced skill set because it kind of requires you to code in a lot of, oh, so you want to hack games. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and warn you. And I actually forgot to do this. I needed to like have a disclaimer along the screen during these particular streams. I am what's called a white hat. I am one of the good guys. And I stop the bad guys. Now, I'm actually just kind of like quickly hopping over into a nice little infographic that I made a little while ago. Let me just see if I can find it real quick. So there are a couple different types of hackers. So we've got the black hats here. They represent just flat out, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do, and I don't care. I'm doing it. Fine. Keeps me employed. You've got the white hats, like myself, the good guys. But then you're like, well, I saw that there was something in the middle. What is that? That is the gray hat. So there's also this third category, the gray hat hacker. And we define this, we, the security community, we, the pen testing, InfoSec community, whatever, we define gray hats as anyone who doesn't have permission, but yet feels like they've got good intentions. So somebody that hacks into a bank just to say, hey, look, you guys have a vulnerability. Well, did you ask the bank before you hacked in? No, but look, I found their vulnerability. They should hire me, right? No, they're probably going to sue your ass. And that's where a lot of gray hats end up, is they mean well, but they do it the wrong way, and they don't have permission to do it. And that's really key. That's what separates me, a white hat, from a black hat or a gray hat. I have permission from the owner of the system to do the thing. Maybe they don't know what I'm doing. They just say, hey, Brandon, I need you to check that we've got no vulnerabilities. All right. So I break in. I show them their vulnerabilities. I tell them how they fucked up. So I say all of that with which hat or game. So that's a really important point. All of it depends entirely on permission. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter why you're doing it. What matters is permission. And you can easily define permission. Do you have a written consent from the person that you're doing the thing to do the thing? Yeah? Okay, cool. You're a white hat. No? Okay, then you're a black hat. Well, I mean, well, okay, you're not a black hat, but you're a gray hat, which is basically a black hat. It's a white hat that still goes to jail with the black hats. Because guess what? Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, I can't remember which specific year it was put into place, but it makes hacking a felony. Like, no, we're talking like go to jail felony. This is like an easy thing to see that somebody is hacking, unless they're really, really good and they cover their tracks and go through a lot of pains, which is a thing. But I'm saying all of this to say, don't get bit. Don't be that guy. Don't screw yourself over by getting just enough knowledge to get yourself in jail. Make sure that you've got consent whenever you choose to do a thing. So when you're talking about, could probably change them to good hat versus gray hat versus evil. Yeah, well, these are the actual terms that we use in the industry to describe different types of penetration testers, hackers, pen testers. Let me get a drink real quick. So these are the actual terms that we use in the industry to describe different types of people and their motivations. So these aren't made up terms. These are actually, I describe myself as a white hat. to other people within the industry, and they know exactly what I'm doing. Most gray hats try to call themselves white hats, but then you ask them, oh, okay, so you work for that company? Well, no. Oh, so you probably, you got written consent from that company to do that thing, right? Well, no. Oh, well, then you're not a white hat. Sorry. That's plain and simple. If you don't have permission, you're not a white hat. Black hats just don't give a fuck. It's really, black hats just like, hey, I'm going to make this happen, and I don't care. That's cool. I actually don't mind black hats because they keep me employed. They keep me in a job, and business is good. And you need a hacker to stop a hacker. And so that's where we're really well employed in the pen testing community. We have lots of lucrative positions available. Now, okay, so he wants to be a black hat. That's cool. I'm not gonna fault you for that. But I would say that knowledge is the key here. My goal is to disseminate that knowledge. What you choose to do with that information is up to you. Bearing in mind that the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act specifically says that we don't care. We don't care what your intentions are. We don't care how small or large it is. If we, whoever we happens to be, law enforcement, FBI, CIA, Mossad, I don't know, GCHQ, wherever you happen to be, the local enforcement, if we catch you doing a thing, you're getting jail time. That's really all there is to it. And I won't be the one to tell you that it's not exciting having that, that kind of challenge in front of you. It's a rush. I mean, I used to be a black hat before I was a white hat. You have to be a hacker to stop a hacker. I don't encourage people to go down that route because it has the potential to endanger you later in life. But if anything, it gave me a healthy respect for how easy it is to go afoul of the law. So I'm here to present information. What you choose to do with that information is up to you. That's kind of how we approach things in the InfoSec community, because the dissemination of information is the most important thing here. We want to make sure that everybody is well informed and has all of the tools that they need in order to make whatever decision that is that they're going to make. The good guys are here to stop the bad guys. The bad guys are here to keep the good guys employed. So it's kind of a nice little community of support here. And, what you choose to do with it is up to you. Do I have to know every language to some degree to be a decent hacker? I would say if you want to get into reversing, it definitely helps a lot. It helps to know a little bit of assembler, because this stuff is not, it's not easy to pull apart the code. Sorry about that. I've been having problems with my USB hub disconnecting. I need to probably get that looked at, or look at that myself. Who am I saying? I'm not going to get that looked at. Right, making sure that the stream's still stable. Okay. So the question was, do I need to know every language in order to be a decent hacker? I would say you should know a little bit about every language, but you don't need to know every language perfectly. Did someone hack you? I mean, so here's the thing. A hack can be broadly defined. Let's see, Discord connected. A hack can be broadly defined as anything occurring on your system by another person which you did not authorize. So in that sense, one could say that a virus is kind of like a hack in a way. Some people would say, yes, it is absolutely a hack. Well, I mean, yeah, it kind of is. It just kind of depends on the level of interaction. But yeah, I've had viruses in the past. I mean, I think I've only had, I want to say like 2, maybe 3 my whole life. Because every time it's like, I've got to pull this thing apart. I got to figure out what the hell happened and make sure it never happens again. So yeah, I mean, technically, I guess I've been hacked. Directly, no, not directly, just kind of indirectly through passive viruses and things. But yeah, I don't think you need to know every language. I just think you need to know a little something about every language, just so that you recognize what's going on. Which browser do I use? So I don't use any one browser. So I have Chrome. I like a lot. It has some nice stuff under the hood that does a great job of. Google takes a lot of liberties in terms of like, we're going to do this because it's the right thing to do, and we're going to make it more secure as a result. Okay, cool. I've also got Firefox as well. So you go, well, what do you mean? Like, no, I literally have. Let me close this out. I literally have both browsers installed. I have the same add-ons installed in both, and I kind of just flip-flop between them, just depending on what I'm doing. I like Firefox for automating hacks. So there's a great utility called Selenium for. So you're talking about you want to get into hacking, you don't know where to start. So here's a really interesting thing you can do without a whole lot of effort, and it doesn't really require much other than, have you installed Firefox? Okay, cool. Have you installed the WebDriver? Cool. Now you can do stuff. And Automate the Boring Stuff is the book that I'm referencing here. This is an interesting book that I've heard is good. I didn't need to read the book in order to get what I needed out of it, because there's this nice little website, automatetheboringstuff.com. And it kind of just jumps you through, like, you know, what do you need to do? Again, this is Python. So we're back to Python again. This is all for Python. There are some nice YouTube lessons that show you how to do this stuff. But the idea is you can just run some code in Python that can interact with your web browser as if a human is clicking things or manipulating things or typing in things or what have you. And this is really powerful. I'm cautious about showing this on the air, but I had the occasion where I needed some very difficult to get a hold of tickets to a very large event. And the tickets I knew were going to sell out very quickly. So I wrote some quick code in Python that allowed me to spawn 100 Firefox instances at once, automate the process of going through, finding the specific thing that I wanted tickets to, and checking to see if they were available. If they were, then it instantly selected the thing and went into the process of starting the process to buy it. It didn't actually put in my credit card information or anything. It just simply opened that page up for me so that I could get that really quick. And that was so that I could get the tickets I wanted. And I will just say it worked very effectively. And that is a kind of hack. And you can do that with Selenium. And you can start by just simply looking at the code right here. So he is, well, okay, so it didn't take long for me to write, but it probably would take most people at least a couple hours to just sort of like get a handle on what it is that you need to do to accomplish doing that. And then once you get the environment set up where I've got, Firefox is installed, I can address it correctly within Python, and I've got the WebDriver installed. It's called WebDriver is what actually makes all this work. See, it's right, Selenium WebDriver. You get all that working. Once you get all that working, that's like, I'd say at least 15 minutes of your work right there. The rest of it is pretty straightforward. And automate the boring stuff is a really efficient way to quickly learn this stuff. Now I'm going to direct everybody's attention. Just keep scrolling down here. Running progress. See where it is. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Web scraping. Okay, so this chapter 11 right here. All right. Chapter 11 is bankruptcy, but also chapter 11 is web scraping. Web scraping is what we were doing. This whole concept is called web scraping. So if we scroll down here, we're going to see that, and I'm going to copy and paste this into chat for everybody. I'm going to paste this. This is going to show up on everybody's stream on your respective service that you're watching this on. So it's going to blow up. You're going to see lots of pop-ups on the side, and it puts the little stupid like face for Facebook for some reason. I don't know why they don't do that right. Looks like it went to most of the services, Twitch, Facebook, etc. So yeah, those are all your services. They should, yep, there it is, starting to show up. That's where we're at right now. And this is what we do. So in Python, we're just doing import web browser open, the website that you want to open. And then they just step you down through like what it is that you need to do the thing. So they're kind of getting into some unnecessary, complicated, like this is all, yeah, ignore that. That's kind of unnecessary. What we really care about is, where is it? We want to find, we're looking for, where is it at? Just give me a second here. I got to find the specific spot that we're interested in. Request get, raise for status, etc., etc., etc. We can save web pages. We can save files. We can play stuff. You can fully automate all this stuff. It works beautifully simple. Okay, so I think we're getting closer. Your web browsers, web tools, okay. And they explain like how you're supposed to get all of these different objects that you need in order to do
time to
search.
recaffeinate.
Oh, time to recaffeinate. Oh. Athena says it's time to recaffeinate, so I'm gonna do that real quick, fast. Restart the caffeine timer. Yep. Wait, that is called white hat hacking. White hat hacking is a permission level. It is not a thing you do, because the things that I do as a white hat are identical to those that a black hat or a gray hat would do. It's only a level of permission. So in the sense that I have permission to access sorry, I've got an ambulance passing. Let me mute the mic. Oh. I don't think it's too bad on your guys' end. Was that ambulance super loud on your guys' end? I don't feel like it was. Making sure. But permission is the only thing that separates the good guys from the bad guys, because we do the same things. Oh, it is allowed. Sorry. So permission is the only thing that actually separates us. So in the example I was naming, which was I needed to get tickets and I needed a way to quickly view those pages. What I was doing was, one could say, a workaround to a poorly designed ticketing site that didn't properly handle lots of people accessing it at once. And so by doing that, I am doing nothing more than accessing a site using a means which has already been provided to me. I'm not manipulating the information in any way so as to break their system. I am simply accessing it a lot, very quickly. And not even really that much if you consider the fact that that site probably gets like, I don't know, like 100,000 requests within that same period of time. What's my 99 browser windows going to mean in the grand scheme of things? So granted, it's kind of a gray area, I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, it's not really a bad thing. It's more just a workaround for their system. And it just made my life more convenient. And I would argue that as long as you're accessing a site using the same means that you would normally access it, especially for this, well, not for, I don't, he talks about Beautiful Soup versus Selenium. I don't actually Beautiful Soup's all right, but you can do everything you need to without using Beautiful Soup. I want to say that again for everybody watching. You don't need Beautiful Soup to do anything that I'm talking about. You can do all of this with just Selenium. So you'll kind of see that as you scroll down through this page, that it's going to start talking about Beautiful Soup, which is another option right here. Beautiful Soup, another option to automate web browser windows. You don't need it, and just skip it. You don't need BS4. You don't need that. Just ignore it. You can do it all with Selenium. It's all right here. Selenium's beautiful. So yeah, I think as long as you're accessing a site in a way that the developers intended, maybe you're doing it automated, but your mileage may vary. Different places will take things to mean different things. Use your judgment. Don't come crying to me if something bad happens. When in doubt, get permission. When in extra doubt, get written permission. If you don't have permission, make your own test environment that you can do that stuff in. Okay, cool. That's the lowdown on this. I need to make a boilerplate disclaimer that I put in front of this stuff, or a little thing on the side of the screen, warning. You can go to jail if you fuck up. So web scraping is what I did. I did it with Selenium, and you can do some really fun stuff with that. I think I will eventually be doing some Selenium stuff on the air. If you guys are interested, I want to kind of straddle these two different topics. This Observe MC, this program that I'm kind of loosely working on to make it so that I can automate the stream's Minecraft server. Have you played Hacknet? No. But I have played Hack the Box. So this is an interesting thing for anyone who is interested in getting started with pen testing, and say you want to learn how to hack, but you don't want to go to jail. Okay, cool. I got you covered. Hack the Box. Hack the Box. Penetration Testing Labs. It is free. It is for real. This is exactly what it looks like. They actually do mean you actually break in, and it gives you the option to they give you systems that you can break into. So let me get my Hack the Box login. I got more than one. I'm gonna grab my kind of starter one. So you guys can see. I don't want to spoil anything for people on this, because to get into Hack the Box, you have to kind of hack already. To get an account, individuals, okay. A massive playground for you to learn and improve your pen testing skills. Okay, all right. All right, interesting. But how do I get in? Tell me, how do I get into Hack the Box? Join today. Okay, cool. Invite code. What? But what do you mean? What invite code? What are you talking about? That's just it. They are actually asking you in this moment, in order to create an account, you have to hack your fucking way into hackthebox.eu. Now, granted, it's not a super difficult hack. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but maybe I am just by simply looking at this shit. But they literally mean they want you to get an invite code by hacking your way in, and it is gettable. So yeah, that's that's how you get started. Let me get my user pass right quick fast. Star. I'm assuming that was probably one of those words that we do not use on the stream. All right, let me copy pasta this stuff off screen real quick. Hack the box. I'm just copy and pasting my credentials. I use LastPass, so I don't actually know my credentials, nor do I want to know my credentials. Hack the box, log in. Logging. All right. So like I said, this is kind of like my little stream account I use for, it's like my baseline one. I've got one that's got more interesting stuff going on, but I don't want to ruin any surprises for anyone. So this is what Hack the Box looks like once you break in. Oh, you're trying to put a link. So links should not work. I actually, yeah, I think if you try to put any links in, it'll probably bork the link. So you're trying to say hacknet. Is it hack.net or hacknet? How about Ian hacking? Let me do a quick fast Google. I'll admit I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, that's LAN hacking. Oh, not Ian hacking. Why do I think it's Ian hacking? I'm used to seeing LAN as capital L-A-N. Block. No, I don't want you. LAN hacking. I mean, that's what a lot of what we do. Are you talking about a capture the flag? Because the capture the flag is kind of the... Oh, it's a Steam thing. Roger that. Uno momento, senor. Let's go right on over there. Hacknet. Let's see. Let us see here. NetHack? Is that Vulture NetHack Legacy? Is this what you're talking about? Is this? There's actually quite a few of these. We got System Hack, Gray Hack. I'm gonna say NetHack. Maybe is this it? Remastered version of the NetHack, deeply rich and complex. Okay. Oh, this is like, okay, I know. I don't think this is what you're probably talking about because it doesn't seem like it relates. Maybe we'll try System Hack. What are this? Sim RPG, dystopian. That's not it. Nope. Which one is it? What's the name? Let's see. We got Hacknet. Maybe I need to do hack as one word. Hacknet. Ah, there we go. That's got to be it. Hacknet. All right. An immersive terminal-based hacking simulator for PC. Dive right down rabbit hole. Not bad. Not bad. Huh. Let us see. Huh. Intriguing. Well, all right, so a lot of these will give you an interesting level of realism that might get vaguely close to reality, but ultimately, we all know what's going on underneath the surface, that all of this is really just an illusion. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it looks pretty fun, actually. It doesn't look bad. But we all know underneath the surface that it's an illusion. And as a game, you are going to get a limited amount of things that you could potentially do to break in or hack a particular system in this game. There's no way that they could conceivably put in every possible scenario for you to hack. So what you're going to be learning if you go with something like this is how to hack the way that they've decided you should hack. And that's okay. I'm not going to say it's wrong. to each his own. And I'm sure that this looks like an actually a pretty decent way for people to kind of get their feet wet in terms of like learning what we're talking about here. But what do you think I learned on? It wasn't a game. It was IRL, the real world. When I wanted to learn how to hack Wi-Fi, I made my own Wi-Fi hotspot and learned how to do computational hash breaks. When I wanted to learn how to break WEP, I didn't get a simulator for that. I actually made my own WEP hotspot and practiced capturing those packets in the real world and actually broke them. And let me tell you, it is so gratifying when you are actually hacking something, you actually break in after however many hours or whatever of work, you know that you broke through. You're no longer part of the rest of the world. You've officially entered the InfoSec community. You have become a hacker. As little as you know, those first steps are, they mean a lot, and they really do a lot for your confidence. And nothing builds your experience faster than actually doing the stuffs, doing the actual hacks. And I will say, as somebody who does, and I'm a senior penetration tester, I actually do hire. I work for, I might announce it later, but we'll see. I work for a large company, and I have been in a position where I am selecting other penetration testers to hire them for a position. As somebody who hires, as a pen tester myself, experience. It's critical. So when somebody comes to me and they say, hey, I want a job hacking, I want to be a pen tester like you, I say, okay, what's your experience with Nmap? How do you feel? Oh, it looks like my USB hub rebooted again. 1 second. Make sure that. Sorry about that. I got to fix my USB hub. I don't know what the hell it's doing. So somebody comes to me, they want a job. I look at experience, and the first thing I do is I'll ask them actual questions about what tools they prefer, things that they like in terms of like what's your preferred way to do a lateral movement within an environment after you've broke in? How do you move around in the environment? Like, what's your preferred way? A lot of people have different methods, but you can immediately spot somebody that knows what they're doing. Not necessarily somebody who's been to a bunch of different schools, has like a bunch of certifications, maybe a bunch of like masters or PhDs. Skip all that. I want somebody who knows what they're doing. And if somebody can sit there and tell me exactly how they like to do things and actually mean what they say, that means more to me than any of the other shit. And I say all that because the only way you get that experience is by breaking actual shit, like actually breaking into things. Now, Wi-Fi Pineapple. So to those who are interested, the Wi-Fi Pineapple, I would actually get mine out, but I think I left it at work. Yeah, I think I might have left it at work. So the Wi-Fi Pineapple is put on by the Hack5 guys. Very good place to get kind of started. They have a lot of episode archives. It's a podcast. They actually have previous shows where they've gone through all this stuff. The Wi-Fi Pineapple is a really handy device. They've got multiple versions of it these days. What it does is it fakes being a wireless hotspot or a wireless access point, and has people connect to it. This is just one of many things that it can do. Has people connect to it, and then say they go and log into something that doesn't have proper protection, you can copy those credentials They go to, say, a government site while they're logged in, and now you've got their government credentials. Maybe they go to check out, and the place that they're checking out with didn't properly secure itself. Oh, now I've got your credit card information. Ouch. All that stuff can be acquired very easily. Or I can redirect somebody who thinks that they're, say, logging into Facebook to my rogue site. And now I've got their Facebook credentials. So that would be the Wi-Fi man-in-the-middle components. And I was learning, I always preferred more complicated solution than what the teacher would tell us, because you like to get challenged. That's great. That's exactly the kind of person that does well at this kind of work. You want to be self-motivated to learn, to seek a creative solution, creative problem solving. That's what hacking is, creative problem solving. Thinking of ways to fix things or do things that nobody else thought of. In this case, we're repurposing. That's what these guys are. These are wireless access points that have been repurposed with a special operating system called Pine OS that allows it to do things like the Yasser connection spoofing attack and a number of other things. It's a great tool. Don't get me wrong. It's a great tool. But I've had limited use of it. It's good to have. It's more important to have experience with it just so that you know it exists. But this thing isn't free. If you wanted it, you'd have to go to the Wi-Fi Pineapple shop. Oh, good, it's on sale right now for only $199. Okay, well, let's get the cheaper one. Oh, $100. Ooh. Oh, crap. You know? Oh, good. Yeah, it's saved 20%. It used to be $300. And don't get me wrong, $100. It's not bad. Especially compared to because I've got the Gen 4 Pineapple, I believe. That's what I've got. What is this? What is this? Some kind of like thing that's popping up, trying to pop up in front of me. So yeah, but I've gotten limited use out of it. To me, it has select uses. The Pineapple has select uses, but it's not strictly I wouldn't recommend that people who are just getting started in this field, in hacking, in pen testing, and all this stuff, go out and buy a Pineapple. I think that it's kind of unnecessary. What I would more encourage you to do is get started on Hack the Box, because this will give you actual places that you can hack into. So, for instance, we've got challenges here. We've got things like, oh, hey, Thomas. No problem, no problem. So we've got a number of like options here. It's like, this is what I was talking about, reverse engineering, reversing the code. They'll give you the challenge and, crack this. They'll tell you the difficulty of a particular challenge. You download, you do the thing, crack the program and get the flag. The flag is typically like either an image or a text file that is just simply says, hey, I'm the here's the flag, HTTP, some text, and you put in the flag that you got out of the text document usually, and it will give you credit for having solved it. And so this kind of gives you the opportunity to test reverse engineering a particular option, a particular piece of software. Oh, cool. Thank you for the follow. Bang Die Live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So these reversing challenges are really handy because they kind of get you started as far as like reverse engineering code. You're going to be using something, probably be using IDA. IDA, whoa. No, why does Google need to know my, all right, so IDA is the shit, the actual shit. IDA is a disassembler program that what it'll do is it'll allow you to see the memory space of a program executing. and you can disassemble it. You can break it apart. You can see what's running. You can hook the process and inject, depending on the type of attack you're doing, you can inject code live in memory. The completed Circadia puzzles on YouTube. Circadia puzzles. I did not. Should I? Is that something I should take a look at? But yeah, so IDA is your tool for reverse engineering, and it's a handy little tool. That's what that is. So we've got other options here. Steganography, which is the ability to hide data in plain sight, typically like in an image. You'll encode something inside of an image, and the idea being that you can hide that you're hiding data. Somebody doesn't know. Then we've got other options here, like web attacks. So you actually have like a website that you would see. We believe in certain individual uses this website for shady business. Can you find out who that is and send him an email to check using the website's functionality? Interesting. And so what you're actually doing, host Docker, all right, instance started. All right, and I'm only going to have this up for a second because I don't want to deal with that shit. 4623. I don't know if this is a web instance or not. 46203. Bam. They just spun up a fake website for me to use. So I can hack this. This is for me to hack. Oh, it's a secret organization? Man. I feel like I should know that. Circadia. I feel like I should. I'll research it a little bit later. Circadia. I'll remember that. Don't forget. I will make a note of that. I feel like I should know that. It's bugging me now. They post a series of puzzles every year, and the final answer is their address. Oh, okay. Kind of like that, yeah. Except with Hack the Box, you have to hack in to Hack the Box initially to get a login. You have to engineer your own invite code by hacking Hack the Box. So your first challenge is actually just getting started on Hack the Box. Once you get in, then you get access to all these really interesting tools and utilities. I'm going to stop that instance. See all you trolls out there trying to connect to that instance. I know. Oh, believe me, I know. So Hack the Box just let me spin up a virtual server for me to hack into. Just like that. No questions asked. And I'm allowed to do it. I won't get prosecuted for doing it. Practice all the fun things we do. Privilege escalations, cross-site scripting exploits, SQL injection attacks, all the things. And you get to do it not by being handheld, not by kind of, oh, well, try again. Oh, well, you messed up there. Well, no. In the real world, when we're hacking, we don't get somebody that like coaches us through. Well, did you try this? Oh, well, I know you messed up there, but have you tried? No. We Google the fuck out of everything. So if you can't figure out how to do a thing, Google it. Big secret. You need to be very smart. It's hacking, deciphering code by searching in a book and converting piano notes. Oh, okay, yeah. Those are pretty cool. But here's the thing. When you get asked by, I don't know, let's just say the US Air Force to test their systems, do you think that they will hide their passwords and piano notes inside of words? I think that they will probably not have any of that stuff. So those are interesting puzzles, but do they make you a better hacker? That's the question. They make you a better problem solver, which has merit. Don't get me wrong. But that stuff is more like game puzzles rather than like actual hacking. And a lot of these, you don't have the reassurance of knowing when you do it wrong, oh, we'll try this. Oh, we'll try that. No, you got to just Google the answer. And I will say, I have learned so much more by just doing the hack than I ever have from getting a certification or going to a school or whatever. Not to say that those don't have merit. Of course they do. No one's saying that. But the most experience is gained by doing the thing. And you'll remember it better when you had to work for 10 hours in order to find just the right solution in order to make it work. And all that stuff is available right here. We've even got forensics. I mean, pwning. It's one of my favorites, not gonna lie. Basically, you break into a system, take administrative privileges over on a given system, and kind of just do what we all think of when we think of hacking. It's pretty damn fun, actually. And they just let you break into these systems. Awesome. And you're going, well, surely there's a catch. You had to pay for that, right? No, it's free. This is all free. The only caveat is you had to hack in the first place in order to get your login in the first place. So just saying, that's a thing. There's also a number of other things in here. So we've got active, we got active machines. So what they'll do is they'll have like these test instances that you can bring up and access and things. I'm not going to get too far into that. But they're demo systems that you can also hack into. It's all fair game. So yeah, this is where I go to keep my skills sharp when I'm not doing active engagements, pen test engagement. And maybe you get pretty damn good at this. Okay, cool. Because guess what this is over here? Looking for a job? Oh, career opportunities. Hey, you want to get paid to hack? Yeah, please. Yeah. Can I? Yeah. Get out of jail free card, get paid lots of money to break shit? Okay, cool. You got job offers. We've got flat out actual job offers right here. All for you. So, and yep, see, penetration tester. We've even got trainee positions here. So, if you're just getting started, that's a thing. I'll just kind of throw this out there. I'm also, I'm in a position to potentially look at somebody or somebody's for a position like that, like a kind of like a junior pen tester position. So if anyone's interested, just use the viewer feedback forum. We've got that at bhax.net. And you just click on the contact form right now and viewer feedback right here. And of course, you don't normally need to leave your email, but if you're interested in what I was just talking about, you probably want to give me your email so that I can respond, because otherwise I don't get that information, nor do I want it normally. But if somebody was so inclined and or talented and wanted to be hired potentially or considered for a position, that might be an option for you. But we've also got these other positions here. And all that is just like, this is a cool thing you can do, but you can also get paid to do it. If you're a black hat, sorry, you could probably only get away with it for so long before you get actually thrown in jail. And who knows how many times you can do that before companies don't want to consider you because you've got a criminal record. So that's worth considering. If you want to make this into a regular thing, why not get paid to do it and stay out of jail while you're doing it? So it's just a thought. Hack the box is the thing. And again, I'm just kind of like summarizing for anyone that's kind of dropped in. I see we have a number of people that are hopped in. By the way, anyone watching this, you're going to be maybe looking at your individual service. Maybe you're watching on Mixer, Twitter, YouTube. Hell, we've even got a stream on the beta streaming service for Steam. Steam actually has a thing you can stream to. Some of you might already be watching that. bhax.net is the stream website. And maybe you're wanting to catch up. Maybe subscribing or following the channel wherever you happen to be watching this is not possible, or you just don't want to deal with that shit. I understand. Don't worry. Gotcha. If you go to the events calendar, you're going to see that we have our streaming schedule here. Okay, cool. But where else do you stream, Blackburn? Please tell me. Oh, good thing you asked. We stream to Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Mixer, Periscope, DLive, Steam, Smashcast, Streamcraft, Stream.me, all of them. Actually, I want to see the Steam. I'm going to mute this real quick. Oh, looks like it's beta, so it kind of comes and goes. Oh, maybe it is. Right now I'm trying to remember all the coding I learned in school because me and my friend are going to remake Half-Life 2. Very nice, very nice. Nasu. Yeah, their streaming service is definitely in beta. But yeah, so this is where you can catch up, watch us. So I've got all that. Yeah, there's usually I've got a bunch of, I've got uBlock Origin. It's my web firewall. Some people call them ad blocker, but it's my web fire. So it's playing. So here is, you can watch and interact with the stream right here on the site. This is the Twitch stream. So if you happen to be watching this on your whatever respective service and you're going, hey, there's not a whole lot of people on this stream. Well, that's because we stream to all of these services and people kind of come and go. I don't blame you. I'm one of them. You know, sometimes you don't want to interact. That's cool. But we have a lot of people on a lot of different services. And if you were to chat, this is the reason I bring this up. If you were to chat, the chat would show up there in the corner, and it would show up for every service that's connected. So if you happen to be watching this stream and not a bunch of people are in the chat room that you happen to be in, I'd invite you just to have a look up there. Up there. Yeah. I'm gonna have like a little thing on the wall. Yeah, see, right there. Since you most likely won't be able to monetize the game, we'll make it free. Yeah, that's valid. But you can see that's Twitch. So if you happen to be watching this in Mixer, because I know we've got some people in Mixer that are watching this, and a few people on YouTube watching this as well. I also see you over there in Periscope. I see people watching on Periscope. I got you. All of those messages show up here, so you can feel free to interact and take part. We actually also have a no joke Discord server. So we got our handy dandy server here. You can actually take part in the stream right now. So we are live. And I'm going to copy the Selenium link quick fast. Because a lot of people are going to be saying, you know, I'd love to keep doing this, but your stream is only active certain times of the week. How do you communicate the rest of the week? Here we go. Here is the link I just mentioned. Bam. All right. So that's our stream chat. I'll be checking that throughout. In theory, it should show up there as well. In theory. I think it might not be showing up because it's me that's typing it. I'm still kind of working the kinks out of that one, but we have all of this available. We have on-air, live stream chat. We've even got, you know, our dank memes. You know, Thomas is constantly keeping us well stocked for all the memes here. Our shit posting deal. I'll let you guys discover the excitement that's going on in there. And of course, you can communicate with me directly there to kind of keep up with what's going on throughout the week. And yeah, all of that, you're wondering, maybe you haven't been seeing the messages at the bottom of the screen. How do I connect to that? I'm glad you asked. Wow, such a timely question you asked just now. You go to bhax.net, and I'd invite you just to check out that Discord link. Join us on Discord. That'll take you directly to our Discord server so you can connect with us and get your questions answered throughout the week by someone who actually works in the InfoSec community. I'm not going to say that I am the greatest hacker in the world. I am just going to say that I am a hacker in the world. Because I know there's so many. I went to DEF CON this past year, and DEF CON is, for those who are uninitiated, DEF CON is kind of the hacking event of the year. There's Black Hat as well, and there's a number of other things that go on, but DEF CON, to anything interactive with the stream, go to, yeah, pretty much everything interactive, anything interactive with the stream, it all goes back to bhax.net, all of it. Yeah, I know it kind of censored you there. That's cool. I need to probably put like a thing in there that says it's okay to put bhax.net. But yeah, all of the stuff related to the site. All you got to remember, bhax.net, that gets you hooked into everything going on here. You can even encrypt and send encrypted data to me. I've got my Keybase link here. You can encrypt and get connected with me on all the different services. It's all there. But yeah, so what I was talking about was the DEF CON. And this is why I don't try to tell other people that I am some kind of master hacker. I'm not. I'm just a hacker. And so DEF CON is kind of our annual get together for everybody in the community. DEF CON 26 is where I went last year. It was in Caesar's Palace. It was glorious. But I saw some incredible people there that they just blow the mind at how incredibly talented they are. In fact, it's so good. I kind of want to show you guys some pictures that I took while I was there. Let's see, let's go over to my camera. All right, let me scroll down. Meow. Find the DEF CON pictures. Give me a quarter second here. Sorry, I got a lot of pictures from a lot of things over the years, as I'm sure all of you do. Like flipping through your album, like, what the hell was it? Like, what? What the fuck? Yeah, I got stuff like that in here. So, let's see. Here we go. So it was at the abso-fucking-lutely colossal Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was glorious. Amazing views from the what Fire Nation? Yeah. We had the casinos. Oh, that's a terrible shot. Bunch of shit going on. Yada yada yada. So there's inside the Caesar's Palace there. Oh my. It was one of the shows that was going on at the time. Let's see. But then you get amazing shots like these where you've got, everybody from everywhere getting in and learning, growing as a community. We're about equal, sharing of information, making sure that we get connected in and be a community, learning. I bet you anything in this picture, there's probably like 2 or 3 black hats in there, along with a bunch of white hats and a few gray hats. We're all mashed together. We don't try to tell people, this is how you should use the information. No, we try to find interesting ways to do things. And sometimes that means doing things in ways that no one expected, which, Oh yeah, I want to show you guys this too. I had, so at DEF CON, oh yeah, God. Like shit like this. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Have you heard about the most dangerous hacker, Dylan, the hacker? Search it on you. Oh, yeah, I've seen some of that stuff. To me, the most dangerous hacker though is the one that never gets caught. That's pretty dangerous. Like the one that nobody knows about. It's like, that's pretty dangerous. Because if people know about them, that immediately changes how they, interact with the world and they do their thing. But yeah, look at this. You talk about Wi-Fi pineapple. Holy shit balls, Batman. Holy shit balls. And I think about the stuff that I've made and bro, props, mad props. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Just look at this shit. Look at that shit. Wi-Fi cactus. It's glorious. It's like nerding out. So yeah, there are people that are way better at this shit than me. Check this out. At DEF CON every year, they have the wall of sheep. This particular component of the room was all the things that everybody was using the DEF CON Wi-Fi to access. Yeah, well, pretty much everything you would expect. Yep. A bunch of hackers. What's the first thing they're going to get on? Porn. Yep, lots of porn. Whole bunch of porn. Yep. So, yeah, it's an amazing environment, amazing life experience, I would say, is DEF CON. And I would encourage all of you, if you have the opportunity and the means, because it's not free, obviously, to fly to Las Vegas and get a room during one of the most expensive events of the year. Yeah, it ain't free, but it's amazing. DEF CON media server. Yeah, awesome. And a lot of these DEF CON talks you can actually see after the fact if you just Google them. They've got DEF CON on YouTube. Great opportunity to get kind of connected into the community, learn about this stuff, get started, all that. I forgot where I was going with the whole DEF CON angle. Oh, just that I'm not the most amazing hacker in the world. I just know what I'm doing, but I will, if anything, I've learned enough in my profession to know that I don't know everything. By far. But hey, best way to learn is to be proven that you don't know everything. You can't learn unless you know that you don't know. There's a deep thought. One cannot learn until one does not know, but knows that one does not know. Deep thoughts. Deep thoughts. So yeah, Selenium is that. Automate the boring stuff is the name of the resource here to get started on that. Goodbye to Clojure. Thank you. Python strings. Don't need that. Java bridge. You know what? I kind of want to show you guys a little Selenium. But I also want to, I've got a good portion of this code completed and working. So, well, it's completed. I wanted to kind of complete it on the air with you guys. Anonymous even said that to the people of my country to stand up and fight against politicians, that they should fear us and not the opposite way. And that is the only way that we can get out of crisis. These are deep thoughts. These are positive thoughts. It's part of the reason I have my little slogan up here. Let's parse what that means real quick. Promise you it won't take long. Agency. It's not just a thing that you go to get your license, your driver's license or whatever. Agency. The capacity of an actor to act in a given environment. The capacity to act does not at first imply specific moral dimension to the ability to make the choice to act. The concept here is if you have agency, then you are able to direct the course of whatever action it is that you're taking. But no one is doing anything, protesting, rioting, making revolutions. I guarantee you there's people doing things, but they might be doing things in a way that is not necessarily visible to mass media. Or maybe it is visible to mass media, but it's not seen by you because it's being masked by whatever government happens to be in power. So yeah, there could be stuff going on. I mean, I know at least in Nicaragua right now, there's a lot going on, and the government's kind of suppressing a lot of that. That's the reason why people are going to Germany and Ireland. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, so that's what's going on through here. This is my little tagline up here: agency through offense. Okay, I'm gonna spell this out for everybody on the air here. We are giving people the ability to act through the ability to think offensively. What is offensive? Well, let's look up offensive security. What is offensive security? Penetration testing. This is actually the certification that I'm working on right now. Offensive Security Certified Professional. And for anyone that's doubts or wonders or is curious, we'll kind of segue into VMware. Offensive Security VM. So this guy is the virtual machine that I power up to do my hacking. Kali Linux. Usually happens like this. Someone will go to protest and the other people will judge him because of that. They are saying that we need change. It's not wrong. I mean, there's a lot to be said for just the simple ability to speak one's mind and not feel like you're oppressed. I think this is still root tour. Nope, changed it. Wake up. Not sure if I changed. Yeah, I updated it. So, welcome to Kali Linux. Kali Linux is free. This is when people talk about hacking. They may be referring to things like reverse engineering, in which case you would just use a program like IDA. They may be referring to things like social engineering, getting people to do things that they didn't mean to do that would compromise their security. But a lot of times they're talking about network penetration. That sounds sexual, I know, whatever. I don't like the term network penetration tester. All right, it's a unnecessarily sexual term. Why do we even have this term? Come on, people. I like white hat. That's a cool, it's all right. It's not bad. Pen tester I can live with, but then people think you work for like a pen company and you're sitting there clicking pens all day. Like, ooh, wow, you're really. I've actually had somebody like, pen tester. What do you do? Like write all day? No, penetration tester. I don't want to. It's terrible. Not a good enough reason to use penetration. But when they're talking about network penetration testing, network pen testing, they're often talking about using something like Kali Linux. So this is the magic tool that we use. Now, I want to make sure that everybody knows that this tool should be used to test equipment that you have permission to access, that you either own or have written consent from the owner to break into / destroy, whatever that looks like. If you break the shit and it's not yours, you can go to jail. It is a felony. It is, most jurisdictions around the world will voraciously chase down people they even think are hackers, and use them as wonderful examples for the world to try and discourage people from hacking. So be careful. Be fucking careful. This is live weaponry right here. So what we do is download Kali Linux up here. I personally like to have the bulky full version. It's 3.2 gigs. And yes, you do want the 64-bit version. And yes, please, for the love of God, do a SHA-SUM on the shit after the fact. It's not hard. If you're on Windows, use 7-zip. It's got the option to do SHA-SUM. That's a thing. You can just right-click on the file, and if you've got 7-zip installed, it'll let you just... Because you got to make sure that the file integrity is still good. Some people, they download this shit, and it just gets broken. Yeah, and you can do it through torrent or HTTP, either way. Now you're asking yourself, okay, cool, but how do I do it like you're doing it? That is where we get into more exciting stuff. So I'm using a tool called VMware. For a lot of you, you're going to be hearing about tools like VirtualBox. VirtualBox is pretty good. It does a lot of things really well, but VirtualBox is not used very much, if at all, in a business setting. And as a result, the support it gets, the things that it is capable of doing are vastly reduced. And learning VMware will give you a skill that you can use for life. Because let me tell you, you get to some of these, information technology type positions, whether it's, hacking, pen testing, etc., or just getting your foot in the door with being somebody in the IT industry. A lot of people are using VMware. A lot of people are using VMware. So what am I getting at here? Well, VMware has, they have VMware Player. So that's what I'm kind of hunting for right now. Product downloads. So it's not immediately apparent. All product trials. Let's go VMware Player. Where is it at? Where is it at? Personal desktop. Is it higher? Here? VMware Workstation Player. Okay. So this, wait, is this what I want? Yeah, I think that's what I want. Yeah. VMware Workstation Player. So the player lets you, as of a couple versions ago, you can create virtual machines or simply use virtual machines, because as it stands, guess what? You can download a pre-built VMware VM and you're good. Where are we at? I'm trying to see that. Okay. Love it. So yeah, you can use VMware to launch these systems and have it running in Windows at the same time. It's pretty sweet, because then you don't have to have a dual boot system. You don't have to bring down your whole system just to boot into another operating system, because make no mistake, this is a full operating system. And it's not an operating system that I would encourage anyone to run all the time. T-Mobile is doing every year system check, and they advertise about testing their security. And if someone breaches it, they will get $5,000 if the hacker tells the weaknesses. Yep, I know. This I know. There's actually a concept within the information security community called bounty programs, or bug bounties. There's a number of them that I'm involved with. One of the I am brain farting so bad right now. Just 1 second, I gotta remember. Here it is. Okay, yeah. So, bug crowd. Here's what we do. You go to bug crowd, you get yourself a research sign up, and companies will get on here and say, hey, I need to have my shit tested. I want to make sure I don't have any potential points of attack. Can I get a bunch of pen testers to try and break my shit? Why, yes, you can. BugCrowd will do that for you. So BugCrowd sets up a very structured system where you can run pen test engagements, hack into a system. So I'm a researcher. My research login. Let me do my quick login for everybody. Quick, fast. I like BugCrowd a lot. Right. Just a second. Logging in. Agree. Policy update. All right. Cool. So, I haven't been active in ever, but I do like how they have this all set up, because what you get is you get a leaderboard, a score, and everything. But they tell you places that will pay you money to break into them. So let's do a quick check here. Can we find T-Mobile? Is T-Mobile in here? Is that Telefonica Deutschland? No. Penny. I guess they're not registered here. Huh. Oh well. I figured that I could have swore they would be. But you do have some larger companies here. Netflix, hello. Pinterest, yep, they're in here too. Yep. And it's not to say go out and hack Pinterest, go out and hack Netflix. No. You gotta fall within the boundaries of the rules that they've defined. You can't just break shit. Again, you gotta have permission, or else you're going to jail. So they tell you the guidelines. They tell you what you need in order to qualify. Because if you just break shit, they're not gonna pay you anything. Oh really? Oh, that's actually kind of cool. But yeah, so that's how we do these things. Is we get these. There's 4 pages. What? So USA is on here, and again, these are you seeing the bounties that these guys are paying? Up to $100,000. What? $5,000 doesn't seem like much in the face of $100,000. And there are plenty of people in our industry that make a full-time living doing just this and nothing else. They don't work. They don't go to a job every day. They collect bug bounties. They just hack into shit that they have authorization to hack into, and they will get money from that. Oh, there's YNAB. That's cool. I'm looking for, because I'm pretty sure Discord is actually on here as well. Yes. At least they were. They were for a while. Oh, Tesla. Cool. But you can see, of course, Bugcrowd is also their own thing. I guess maybe Discord, maybe they took their stuff off. Huh. Maybe they're registered with one of the other services. I could have swore they were on here. I know they were on here earlier, like earlier in the year, like mid 2018 timeframe. But yeah, so these people are openly advertising that, hey, if you follow the rules that we set forth and you break into our stuff, we will pay you a lot of cash. So that's one option for people. Oh yeah, I'm glad I got these tabs. They kind of like keep me focused on like where I left off. So back to Kali. Again, Kali is live weapons. These are live weapons. Yeah, put Elon Musk memes. Yes. Yes. For lulz. But yeah, you download your Kali. The VMs are pretty nice because they're pre-built. You don't have to install Kali. It just works. I don't know. It probably isn't in a rule. Like they probably wouldn't specifically say you couldn't do that. Like if you could get to that point where you could do that, then you've already proven your point. It's just icing on the cake. I don't think they would have any problem with that actually. Don't take my word for it. I haven't read the rules. So, but yeah, so your Kali, download your Kali. Did I accidentally close the wrong tab? Reopen, close tab. Okay. Yeah, and you'll need, you got to have your VMware Workstation Player, not Workstation Pro. They've kind of made it confusing. It used to be Workstation and Player, but now it's Workstation Pro and Workstation Player. Okay. Player is what you need. You download it. I know it says download free trial, but if you don't use the advanced features, it's free. Or at least it has been for a long time. And they let you create and use virtual machines. What's a virtual machine? Someone might ask. Well, It's how we can run a computer on a computer at the same time. It's so meta. So what you're looking at is Kali Linux, an actual Linux operating system running in Windows. Like I'm streaming off of this computer. We are actively running Windows. Like this is Windows. All right. And if I go, so here's XSplit, you know, what I'm streaming with here. There's the Minecraft server. All right. And here's Kali Linux running right here inside this, you know, helper. It's running in a 32-bit environment for some reason, but that's Workstation. It's running an OS inside of an OS at the same time. So that's what that is. And what this gives you is a arsenal, an absolute arsenal of tools. I'm actually wondering, like, why is chat? Chat shouldn't be saying. Why is it doing that? Whatever. So this is a absolute arsenal of tools. And believe me when I say there are live munitions in here, live viral munitions, ready to do damage. So when you are working with Kali Linux, you need to be careful. And I don't want you to disable your antivirus. Just don't disable it. Do it smart. Sorry. I'm like, for some reason, my chat window, like I've been having problems with my USB bus, and it's been like bouncing my chat stream for some reason, along with my USB devices are getting like reset and stuff. So trying to unfuck this. Reset the chat correctly. Just a second. Yeah, because I'm not seeing some of these messages that people are typing. Okay. I'm looking over an XSplit and I'm like, somebody said something, but it didn't. I can't barely read that. Come on. I'm waiting for my chat to display. All right. Is it? Are we doing this thing? All right. It'll eventually come up. I won't sit here and try to fight with it. So back to what I was saying. I don't want you to disable your antivirus. If you're on Windows, it's called Windows Defender. You can find it in a number of ways. Windows Security is also what it's under. When you hack in a Netflix input, that's a lot of... It's truth. It is truth. Well, a lot of times when you're hacking in these platforms, they have like a complete clone of their actual service running on like a separate safe system. So if you were to obliterate it, you wouldn't take down the service. So, you know, it's kind of their way of hedging their bets. They want the hacks, but they don't want to be brought down. And I respect that. So you've downloaded Kali Linux. You've got it set up with VMware Workstation Player, not Pro, VMware Workstation Player. But you got to be careful because you've downloaded an entire armory worth of infectious software. Some of them are just hacks. Some of them are live infections. And Windows security is going to throw a fucking fit. So the thing about it is you don't want to disable your antivirus because that's just dumb. All right. Just don't be a dumbass. All right. Keep your antivirus running, even if it's just Windows Defender, which in my case, it really is just Windows Defender. That's all I feel like I need. I don't really need to pay for an antivirus. Well, I have average, but not bought version or pirated. And I can't update to Windows 10 because I have no space on C drive. Okay, so if it's a space problem, then maybe downloading Kali Linux and putting it on, say, like a flash drive might be a good option. Unfortunately, it's another operating system, so your options are get more space or get more space. You're either getting more space in terms of like a larger hard drive or making room on your computer, or you're getting more space by using a flash drive as your storage medium, which works fine. That all works. But no matter how you choose to go about doing this, you're going to need to make sure that you've got your antivirus set up to not implode. And Malwarebytes can help too. Yeah, it can help. I'm not going to... Malwarebytes is okay. Personally, let's do some thinking right here. An antivirus program, whatever that looks like, needs to be able to have intimate, very deep control of your system. It needs to understand your computer as good, if not better, than the people that made the whole operating system in the first place. Who better to make something like that than Microsoft themselves, Windows Defender? Windows Defender does a pretty dang good job, and it's free, built in. And the act of running Windows Defender and another antivirus most of the time works fine, but a lot of the other antiviruses are actually starting to get pushback from like Google Chrome and a few others where they're saying, you know what, you guys are making shitty antivirus and it's slowing down a lot of these people's computers. You got to stop. And that's just because so many of these antivirus vendors are making products that slow people's computers down a lot. And I'm not about that. I used to be like, it doesn't matter, we got to have the antivirus, I don't care. But Windows Defender does it without slowing your computer down, and it works really well too. Man, you have a 1.5 T and you are still out of space? Time to delete the pornos. So for Windows Defender, this is going to look different for a lot of different vendors. So if you're using Malwarebytes, if you're using AVG, I don't really care what you're using. They've all got the ability to add exceptions, and that's what I'm getting at here. We need to get in here, and in this case, we're going to call them, it's called exclusions. So, yep, you need to go and add the folder where you saved your virtual machine, and the one where you're actually running the virtual machine out of, if you're running this as a virtual machine. If you're going to save Kali Linux as like a zip file, guess what? You need to whitelist that file. You need to add an exclusion for that file. Otherwise, any kind of antivirus that sees this thing is going to lose its shit because this is a package filled with viruses. Oh, that sound means my USB hub freaked out. Just a second. I'm going to wait for it. Man, I need to get this thing fixed. This is... Well, did it? Maybe? Maybe? All right, if my voice cuts out, you'll know why. Oh, hey, what's up, Billy? Windows Defender is fine until a PowerShell script is used to reset Windows Defender to its default settings. Disabled and no signal. Yeah, believe me, I'm right there with you. I know. This is not the first time I've had to go back and set Windows Defender back up. But the alternative is running somebody else's AV or not running AV at all, which isn't, in my opinion, an alternative. That's actually like suicide. Especially when you're dealing with live infectious material. It's like, can you imagine somebody working with like Ebola as their job and they're like, kitchen gloves are fine. I don't need to have a hazmat suit. It's like, dude, I know the hazmat suit's not comfortable, but you need to put that shit on or you're gonna die. Something's gonna happen. So this is like our hazmat suit. Just having some kind of AV on your system is enough to get you by for the most part. Don't disable your AV, have something, but make sure you add an exception for wherever you choose to store infectious material. I play a lot of video games and I'm into music production, and so, oh yeah, I know, believe me, I know. I've got 2 terabytes in my current storage drive, and it's full for pretty much no other reason than these videos. They eat a lot of storage. Like on this stream alone, I've used, I've saved about 6,700 megabytes. That's 6.7 gig for this stream alone. And that's all saved locally. A lot of storage gets used up. But yeah, so, Traffic moratorium lifted. Why, thank you, Amazon Echo. So that's the software. I set up my Amazon Echo to tell me whenever traffic is terrible, and so it tells me when good traffic ends and bad traffic starts and vice versa. So I was just letting me know that the traffic was no longer shitty outside. So have an antivirus by all means, add exceptions where you need to, and then proceed with caution. Oh, yes. Oh, that's what it was complaining about. Don't show this hint again. Even though you're buying plugins, and it's still feeling, granted, yeah. And you would think, well, this isn't a virtual machine. It's not actually on the computer. Well, Windows Defender has flagged on my Kali files before, so make sure that you've got an exception about that, because it can cause corruption in your VM if it quarantines files while your VM's running, ends up nuking your VM as a result. So in this, let's take a look at some of the stuff we've got in Kali Linux here. All right, information gathering. I mean, amazing tools like Maltego. You can get a free license for it, and it, just got to sign up with them and everything. And Maltego is amazing. Nmap is the tool. ZenMap is the handy dandy graphical user interface for Nmap. Lets you very efficiently scan systems. So this is what I would consider kind of like network hacking 101, how to get started, how to get good scrub. Nmap does so much. It can be scripted. It can be set up to automate outputs. It can be set up to simulate attacks. It can be used to, Nmap is a network scanner that allows you to reshape the data in a lot of creative ways so that you can discover the vulnerabilities of a system and potentially even exploit them. And it has, a absolute ridiculous, it's a manual. What I just typed was man Nmap. So it's kind of like a basic Linux thing. If it's your first time in Linux, don't worry. We all had to do it at some point. But yeah, they go through all of the possible options. And there are a number of utilities online, a number of resources which tell you how to do different types of scans, what they do for you, things of that nature. Nmap is the bomb. ZenMap, I want to caution everybody about using ZenMap. So ZenMap is great, but you are going to have a scenario where you don't have the option of having this pretty user interface that we're using here. A lot of what you're going to be reduced to is literally just, here is your command shell. All right, now what? Where am I at? What? You've got to know that you can, reference things like this on the command line and execute commands from the command line. So I would encourage everybody, if you've got the option, use the command line version of these different programs first, get comfortable with them, then get comfortable with the GUI. Oh God, I just realized that Half-Life will take a lot of space and I'll need to upload it. Yeah. Video eats a lot, and a lot of video eats even more. Profound, deep thoughts. So yeah, make sure you're using, if you have the option, try to get comfortable using the command line versions of these utilities first before you get cozy with the graphical user interface option, the GUI version. There's some really, really cool ones. Sparta is pretty badass. Lets you basically like beat the shit out of different Wi-Fi setups. If I remember, I think I'm remembering the correct utility. Is it Sparta? I think it's Sparta. Information gathering. Maybe I'm thinking of another utility. Maybe I'm thinking of, where is it? Wireless attacks. But for some reason I was thinking it was like Fern. Maybe I don't know. I'm having a brain fart moment. Regardless. So Nmap is one of your, if I'm going to remember something, write that down. Nmap is good shit. Burp, the Burp suite, you better believe it. It is a incredibly powerful suite of utilities that let you do anything from breaking into web traffic, spoofing web traffic, reviewing JRPs. Sure. Temporary project. Yes. Start Burp, please. Please start the Burp. So we've got the ability to create proxies so that people will go through our fake server. We can disassemble the contents of whatever they're sending in real time. Spider lets us go over a website, pull it apart, find all the little weaknesses in the website. Scanner, it's basically like, I'm just going to go ahead and skip the scanner because it's a paid feature. Some of these features aren't free. So we've got the option of doing like repeaters where we can bounce traffic through ourselves to make it look like some traffic is originating from us or that we are the server that they want to connect to, things of that nature. We can resequence and change data as it passes through sequencer, decoder, compare, extender. All these allow us to modify data streams as they pass through, basically breaking into a website or people accessing what they think is the website at the same time. We can, Burp is an excellent utility to get very familiar with and make it part of your everyday, well, every day is probably the wrong word, but make it part of your list of things that you take the time to learn. Make it a priority to learn that. So these are all our database systems, not too exciting there. Hashcat lets us break things like, it was like OCL Hashcat. This guy lets us brute force stuff. So, and brute force and create and use dictionaries of words, things like that. A lot of times I use Hashcat to, for instance, if you capture somebody's Wi-Fi connectivity, you can use this to break Wi-Fi passwords with, depending on how difficult it takes. But there are a number of other services that they offer. So we can break PDFs, we can break Bitcoin, encrypted Bitcoins, we can do KeyPass, we can do, get some V-Bucks. Everybody's after that Fortnite excitement. This is all the different systems that they offer here. So we got TrueCrypt, we got WinZip, RAR, 7-Zip, shit. Got ASA MD5s for firewalls and things. NT-LM, so that's NT LAN Manager. That is them and LMs and NT-LMs. Those are the datagrams that are sent over the network to allow a Windows computer to connect to a network resource. So if you can hack a NTLM or an LM hash, then you can impersonate somebody. You can steal their shit. I mean, this is good stuff. Got SQL in here. WordPress websites. Yep, the MD5s are in here. If you're able to steal those off of a server, you can figure out what they are. Skype. Yeah. I haven't even looked at Skype. What is that, like Skype password? I can't figure out what that would be. Man, there's so many. They keep adding new ones all the time. But this handy little utility will let you use the raw power of your own computer. And yes, the power of your computer directly relates to how fast this can do what it does. So that 1080 Ti, that RTX 2080 Ti, those, quad SLI 2080 Ti, yep, this guy can take advantage of that. Pretty well, actually. And the thing about it is that you're going to find that if somebody has a reasonably decent password for a lot of these services, like we're talking above 8 to 10 characters. Yeah, that simple. Yeah. It can take for fucking ever to try and brute force somebody's password. So we like these word list and rules options because it lets you, if you have an idea about the person, for instance, you know their Facebook page and you want to get on, unlock a 7-zip file that they have encrypted on their computer. All right, I got you covered. Just a second. All right, let's do brain farting. We need, geez, where is it at? We need information gathering. Is it recon? Is it recon ng? I'm gonna look at myself later on this and I'm like, Blackburn, what are you thinking? You idiot. You should have remembered. It is SET, Social Engineering Toolkit is what I'm looking for. And I'm trying to remember where it, there it is, SET. All right, what I was talking about. So, SET, whoa, SET tool. Oh, come on. Where was it? Set cool. Yeah, it's etc set cool. Yeah. Set toolkit. Violet. Set toolkit. I don't know why it's not. If you want to send a link, use Discord. Yes. Why, thank you, robot. Yes. Discord. Oh, and how convenient. The Discord link is right there, currently displayed. Yeah, if you need to send anything, that's a effective way to send said things. But the social engineering toolkit, which is not acting right for me right now, and I don't want to be that idiot that tries to debug it only to find later that I was an absolute moron for missing it. If your late night worker recommended using Flux. Oh, Fixlux. Yeah, the Flux. Yeah. I am usually, if I'm awake, I don't mind. My tablet and things are color corrected, but when I'm on the computer, I just say fuck it. I do a lot of photo editing, so. Oh, hey, EarthBat99, thank you very much for it. Thank you for the follow on, where are you at? Mixer over there. Cool, thank you. Yeah, if I can find, I can't remember, where the hell, why isn't set working right? The problem is we use a different, we have a custom built version of Kali that we use typically at work. And it has all this stuff like properly configured. So out of the box, Kali has a little rough edges. One of them obviously is that some of these modules don't want to launch correctly and you need to kind of debug them a little bit. No one's saying that this system is perfectly polished. It's designed for hackers, and as such, you should hopefully be a little bit competent in this stuff to kind of know what you're doing so you don't break shit. Let's see, what is this? Most recent Makers OS read-only file system. Yeah, but I mean, I'm already root, so I don't think I'd sudo su. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it should matter. Toolkit. It is bothering me. I need to figure out what's going on there and fix that in this Kali build I've got. I have to go. There's a big storm coming. Gotta start shutting down everything. Oh wow. Yeah. Go safely. You can catch up on the stream after the fact. We'll save the replays. You can catch up. Bye.
Bye, have a great time.
But yeah, I'll have to figure out what's going on with set. But Social Engineering Toolkit lets you actually fake another website. So you can go to Facebook and have set create a fake website of Facebook that you host on your hacking machine, your Kali box here. And when people are connecting to your, say, Wi-Fi Pineapple or whatever, you've done something to cause them to think that they're connecting to Facebook, but they're actually connecting to you. And in the act of doing that, you cause them to log into Facebook on a page that looks exactly like Facebook. And then you've got their credentials. That is a very handy thing to know how to do. And that is a feature that is actually built right into Set. If I could get Set to boot up, it's kind of stupid that it's not working. I'll fight with it later. But yeah, so that's Social Engineering Toolkit. One of many things that it does. Password attacks, we got John the Ripper and Johnny. These are utilities that let you break network hashes, break hashes on computers in order to pull like a Windows password off of a system. You rip out the hashes from the registry of the target computer, and you use the utilities to run a offline, kind of like a hashcat style attack against it. If you happen to know if you happen to know a little bit about the person that you're breaking into, you can use that to accelerate the dictionaries. Again, Facebook is beneficial for that. Yes, I am saying that tools like Facebook are excellent tools for penetration testing. Yes, I am actually saying that. If you use social media and you put your shit out there for everybody to see, guess what? Thanks. You just gave me everything I needed to probably guess most of your passwords because everybody's using my dog Skip. Like, well, what's your dog's name? Skip? I know that because it's on your Facebook page. Well, when did you get married? Oh, good news. It's right there on your Facebook page. Oh, what's your grandma's name? Well, that's in there too. And there's great utilities built right into Kali that say, I want to vacuum all of your shit off of all of your social media and build a nice, thick dictionary of things that I can use to guess your passwords. Think twice about what you choose to post on the web. Zeno, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, X-Free. Sorry, I don't read you. I am though. I am doing a thunk hat here. What are think? Let me do a quick check, quick fast here. I need to verify before I assume. Come on. Just checking something real quick, everybody. Just bear with me. Yes, okay. I figured that's what was being said. So X3 there on Mixer was saying in Russian, let us hack Microsoft. Yes. Yes. With permission, right? We're gonna be white hats, right? Right? You don't want to go to jail, right? Nobody wants jail? Jail? Fun? No? I want to get paid, so let's get paid before we go to jail. Can you hack Microsoft, please? I don't have permission to show. So I can't legally show any interaction with Microsoft on stream because they're a company that doesn't like their secrets to be aired. So I don't want to go too far into detail, but I think some of you can read between the lines that you don't typically hack companies that give you money, right? Unless you've been asked to, and you don't do that on the air if you want to keep getting money, right? We work together to hack them. I mean, I don't have a particularly strong desire to lose money. And so I'm going to say, whatever you do, be sure that you've got permission to do so. And I will leave it there. Yeah, I know Microsoft is Microsoft with a $ for the S. Believe me, I know. I've gone round and round with them. Number of companies I have lots of problems with. We'll leave it at that. But so we got some other interesting things here. You get dollars to hack the systems. Well, hey, if you have permission, go for it. I mean, I have to make sure that everybody watching knows what the right thing is, what the wrong thing is, because this is a public forum. We're all agreeing that this is kind of like a public forum, so we got to kind of keep it, above board. We can talk about a lot of these different systems, but it has to be in a training or academic sense. If we've got the permission, like Hack the Box, their website, then we can get less academic and we can get a little bit more specific. But yeah, I know. I figured it was something like that. You never know with people watching later. Lawyers, they make things really complicated. So I have to be very careful with what I choose to say on the air. So let's see, we got some other tools here. DriftNet. Oh, DriftNet is awesome. Okay, so DriftNet, on its surface, not too exciting. But what it lets you do is if you can like break into somebody else's traffic stream and get them to redirect their web traffic through you, like a fake proxy, kind of like Burp Suite, you can use DriftNet to see everything that they're seeing. So if they're browsing porn, yep, you're seeing everything that they're seeing. Yep. If they're on their auntie's website and they're looking at old pictures from some vacation years ago, yep, you're seeing that. If they're on, some portion of Facebook that's unencrypted, yep, you're seeing all of that too. So DriftNet is a fantastic utility for visualizing everything that is going through a compromised system. Let's see, we've got, let's see some other really interesting utilities here. Wireshark. Oh, Wireshark is amazing. Wireshark, I would encourage everybody here to take a long, hard look at and get very good at using. Wireshark is amazing. It lets you actively see any traffic coming or going from your system. So I haven't actually, I don't want to open this particular thing up because I'm seeing traffic on it, and I guess I can do that off screen real quick. I want to make sure because I don't know what traffic it might see, and I don't want to be in a situation where I'm putting my own dirty laundry out on the internet. It's a read-only file system. Why is this read-only? Due to the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, we can't actively show a pen test on a computer, server, or network we don't own because the video can be used as evidence. The man speaks the truth. Yes, the man speaks the truth. So that's part of it, is if you've got an academic setting, like for instance, like Hack the Box, where they have actively told you, this is what this is for academic use, this is for training, then cool. You can show that on the air because there's nothing there that, it's literally designed for training in hacking. That's what it's made for. Of course they would let you see that. They probably don't want people to show all of the. They probably don't want to show all of the techniques that you use to get there, because sometimes it's like it's a matter of pride that you broke into it. But aside from that, there's nothing legally stopping you. But for things like actual companies here, like we're talking like Microsoft, things like that, yeah, we've got to be pretty careful about how we choose to approach these things, because yeah, that'll be used as evidence in court. And I am a certified ethical hacker. I am actually certified. I am actually credentialed to be a good guy, right? And so if I do the wrong thing, and that's public knowledge, or in any way, I mean, if I do the wrong thing, period, like we'll just put it that way. If I do the wrong thing, I get caught, I'm screwed. End of story. You know, bye. You're not getting a job. You're not getting paid for that. So you got to be very careful. For some reason, I'm thinking my file system might be read-only on this, because it's not letting me actually initiate the packet capture. Yeah, I've either got a full file system, or I'm thinking DU, maybe. Yeah. I'm thinking I might have a full file system. I didn't think I would, so I feel like this thing should have plenty of storage. Come on. Huh. I think I do have a full file system, actually. Oh boy, that's what's been going on. That's the reason why none of these things would launch. For some reason, my storage. God, why is it? Why are you the way you are? Make sure. Wait, no, but okay. I misread that. I've only used 28%. What the flim flam? Flip flap? Well, again, I'm going to have to figure that shit out later. But normally, okay, so the way this is supposed to work is that you would open up an interface. You can actually see the data going over the wire, be it Bluetooth, be it Wi-Fi, be it hardline, doesn't matter. If it can be seen and it can be put into promiscuous mode, monitoring mode, then it can be captured. So that's what Wireshark does. It's an amazing tool for a number of reasons. Even if you aren't using it for pen testing, Wireshark is the shit. I mean, it is amazing. Can't speak highly enough of it. I've been using it since back when it was called Ethereal, so it's been over 10 years at this point. Amazing utility. So we got so many different utilities in here. I can't go into every single one of them, nor do I think anyone wants me to sit here and literally go through there's so many, but they're all available inside Kali Linux. And if you are in a situation where you want to get started real quick and have majority of the tools that you need to, I'm not gonna say all, but majority of the tools that you need in order to do pen testing, then Kali Linux is a fantastic utility. It's a great place to start. It's even got the Metasploit framework, which is the standard in exploitation. So there's this fantastic tool called Armitage or Armitage. Some people call it one or the other. Prog's Anxiety. Thanks for the follow. It hasn't hit yet, but the phone did ding before it showed up on the stream. Oh shoot, you know what? I think the Facebook stream dropped off. Let me confirm that real quick fast. Oh no, they're still running. Okay. Sorry. Facebook has this stupid limit of 4 hours, so I have to be very careful, and like as soon as 4 hours hits, I have to stop and restart the Facebook portion of the stream. There we go. Awesome. It showed up. Probs anxiety. Cool. Props to probs. I am going to be right back. Well, for everybody else, there's not going to be any change. But for Facebook, we're going to drop off and reconnect right now. Okay. And reconnecting. And Facebook. Are we? There we go. Okay. Welcome back, Facebook. Welcome back. Welcome back. Like I said, I have to restart the stream on Facebook every 4 hours because they don't let me stream for more than 4 hours because they're dumb. I don't know. Can you get me V-Bucks, Gavin? Gavin, you want V-Bucks? How about real bucks? I mean, V-Bucks are cool, but real bucks, I mean, how about 100K US dollars? That's what we're talking about today. Is all of how to get started in that whole world. V-Bucks are small fries, I would say. They're the small potatoes in all of this. They do not pay the bills. Shut down guests. Let's do this way. Wow, I got so many monitors. It's so long. Yeah, I know. Let's power this off. Thank you. Yes, I want to shut you off. Gosh, shut off. There we go. Nature of doing stuff like this is you're going to have systems that act kind of weird. Sometimes they do that. That's fine. But yeah, so the V-Bucks thing. I get that question on a surprising amount of the time. I understand where it's coming from. So for those who have been living under a rock for the last 5 years, we have this little program called Fortnite, I think is how it's, I want to say that's how it's spelled. Fortnite, right. And so Fortnite uses this currency called V-Bucks. V-Bucks are their way of converting whatever form of currency you have into in-game currency. Yeah, fork knife, yeah. So the thing about it is that, okay, let me break this down. I want to break this down in a way that I don't get too far into the weeds. So Epic Games, the people that make Fortnite, they contract out or they hire people to, like me, who actively attempt to break into their systems and test them to make sure that they're safe. Because of that, they're very well protected and hardened against things like this. So, to my knowledge, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know in Discord or the chat. But to my knowledge, Fortnite and Epic Games do not have a bug bounty program, to my knowledge. We do. Fortnite bug bounty program. HackerOne. Well, maybe I could be wrong. HackerOne is the other option here. I don't know. Let's see. Epic. Nope, I don't see Epic in here. Fortnite. Nope, Fortnite's not on there. Here, read first bug report guidelines and community tracker. But see, that's reporting bugs. That's not actual pen testing. Yeah, so I think Epic Games does all of their stuff by contract and hire, meaning that if you want to hack Fortnite legally, you need to get hired by Epic, or you need to be hired by a company which Epic Games contracts pen testing out to, if that makes sense. So you're hired by a company A, and company A says, hey, Epic Games, we can test your shit. All right, Epic Games hires that company to do the thing. You can work at Epic, or you can work at that company, whatever that is. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, thanks, Billy. I figured well, it's not really a bug bounty if it's in-house. It's really just bug tracker in that case. Question, testing your skills, can you throw V-Bucks to me? Yeah, you're funny. Thanks, Gavin. So that's what I was getting at is like Epic Games, and by extension, Fortnite, they do a great job protecting their systems. They do not actively have a bug bounty program, so you don't really have a whole lot of legal ground to stand on. So while things of that nature could possibly be possible, getting 2 V-Bucks in this case, like you're talking about, could cost me several $100,000 in the form of a lost paycheck after getting fired, and then potentially millions of dollars in court fees. So 2 V-Bucks or millions of dollars in fees. I mean, to me, it's a pretty cut and dry. Yeah, sounds good, mate. Yep, I know. But that's the discussion right there, is that is the reason why you don't see me doing things like that to companies like that, because you got to have consent. If you don't have consent, you're going to jail, especially if you're doing that on a live stream sent out across the globe, like this. There was a Google security researcher that found a bug in their mobile app. Yeah, so there are methods to do that. You can, and I have, there's another service that I personally use called the 0-Day Initiative. ZDI, I misspelled that. ZDI. I am part of ZDI. I'm not going to log into this account because I actually do have a few active vulnerabilities that I've discovered that I've reported to ZDI that are under active investigation by companies that I will not name here. But this is how you work with companies that don't have a bug bounty program, but you still manage to you found their vulnerability without hacking their systems. Like, you did it legitimately. You didn't break their shit, but you still found their vulnerability. Now, can I get paid, please? And thank you. Do I invest? So I do. I did, I should say. I didn't. Investing is a lot of money, and I'd rather spend that on a 7980XE i9. I don't know, call me short-sighted, whatever. I'll give you $5 for those infos, I'm sure. But yeah, so like I'm saying, is you have multiple methods to, it's called responsible disclosure. You have methods in order to disclose to a company that you have come about a vulnerability on their system. Now, the rules still apply that if you came about this particular bug in a way that required you to break into their systems, they are not going to be happy. And even if you do report it through something like ZDI, 0-Day Initiative here, you can still be prosecuted. So you got to be careful, because in our industry, there is not a lot of protections for security researchers like myself. We don't have all of the opportunities that we should be given because of glorious things like Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, CFAA. I can make those if I invest. I can, and to me, my investment is my mutual fund and my retirement account, and that's about as close as I'm going to get. Retirement fund, 401k, Mm. So here's the thing that is so scary for people in our profession. What pop-ups? Yes. So the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act is this long piece of legislation passed in the U.S. So for those of you outside the U.S., obviously this is not as applicable. But if you do happen to do a hack that reaches into the US and you are part of a country that has an extradition treaty with the US, guess what? This still applies to you because your ass could get extradited to the US for prosecution. Do I hack Bitcoin? Well, why would I? What? No. Putin got you covered. Yeah, I figured. Yeah. So there's a lot of really complicated treaties in place there that I won't even try to dissect on this show, but suffice to say, this stuff matters even if you aren't in the US because it can make your life annoying. Maybe if you're, like Roby here over on Twitch that's from Russia and Putin's got him covered. Okay. But life can still get complicated for you if you've got to deal with getting some government agency or some agency from the US that also happens to have a Russian entity that they can then contact, and suddenly you don't care about the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act in the US until you do. So this stuff matters. Online gambling. What are you even talking? No. Why would I do that? Why would I do these things? These are wastes of time and money. I'd rather be spending my time playing games and doing hacks for the fat loots of cash. Did NSA break RSA yet? That's actually a half decent question there. The NSA had I think it's P25519, I think. Elliptic curve P25519. I think, I can't remember if 25519 was the good one or the bad one. Where was it? DChem, okay. I think this is the good one. Okay, 25519 I think was, okay, it says the Bernstein curve. So P25519 is the good one. All right, and then there is another curve, and I won't, this is like hardcore in the weeds for people that aren't in security, like cryptography and stuff. I mean, this is kind of where my wheelhouse is, but there is this really, really long, ridiculous concept called elliptic curve cryptography, and you can go through a long, ridiculous set of algorithms to blah, 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 ignore the rest. Concept is, this is a type of encryption that is lightweight and very powerful. And P25519, curve 25519 happens to be a sweet spot in elliptic curve cryptography that produces very strong, very secure encryption, and has no backdoors. But there is another prime, and I'm trying to remember. Let me do a quick NSA compromised elliptic curve. I know I'm mistyping that. Dual EC DRBG. Okay, yeah. This wonderful piece of shit designed by, let's look here. The fucking NSA. Yes, the NSA made this particular elliptic curve, that's what it's called, it's a curve. This specific one has built-in backdoors. All right, so we'll just put it that way. So dual EC DRBG is a NSA-developed elliptic curve algorithm that has built-in backdoors, specifically designed to allow the NSA to snoop on your shit. So did the NSA break RSA yet? Right here. Yeah. It was in effect June 2006 until it was taken out in 2014. So yeah, this was a thing. P25519 should not be confused with this because P25519 is a good standard designed by the wonderful Daniel Bernstein, amazing cryptographer. Yes, very nerdy, but it's actually the first time I've seen that picture of him. But yeah, amazing cryptographer designed the P25519 elliptic curve algorithm, and it is not backdoored by the NSA that we know of. No, it's serious. How do you make money? Backdoors. They know the double solution or something like that. Right. So I don't want to lose some of my viewers going over the really complex maths involved in elliptic curve cryptography. It's a tongue twister. But the basic idea is that the NSA developed this method where they could have this type of encryption that looks safe, and for most people it is, but the NSA has specific things that they can do to tweak the data stream in order to decrypt the data comfortably without a whole lot of, if any, effort. And that was their whole idea was to have this in there so that they could backdoor whatever encryption they want. It is known, as they say on Game of Thrones. It is known. These things are common knowledge these days. But yeah, it's part of it is the elliptic curve cryptography, which is in and of itself a great technology, but when used correctly, if it's used wrong, aka using the NSA ciphers, then you get screwed. You get screwed, dog. Let's see. I was getting into. God, it's like I've been on tangent after tangent after tangent. Let me get back. So we're kind of bouncing a little bit back towards the Python thing, Python programming. So we went into a little bit about the goal here, and just to recap, anyone that's watching this later, I have a Minecraft server that we built on a previous stream, which you can watch probably on the service that you're watching this from. There is a replay of that stream where we built this Minecraft server live on the air. And yep, it's a working Minecraft server running Feed the Beast Infinity Evolve version 1.7.10. So it is active. If you want to join in on the server, we do require that you have a active subscription to the channel. And to do that, you would need to go to our donation page at bhax.net. You'll notice it's not there at this specific moment because I'm trying to work out some of the details on that. I'm not sure exactly how much, because I don't actually care about your money. I don't want your money. I don't need your money. I'm making good money. I don't need it. That's good. What I do need is some kind of assurance from people connecting that they won't try to blow the server up. So if you have an investment in the server through your subscription, then hopefully that means that you won't try to do stupid shit. Hopefully. What about sine after cosine after cotangent after secant after cosine? Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, so this is the server. It's available, yes, to you, but we need to kind of establish some ground rules on that and get that stuff working. And part of what I'm developing here, this code right here, is to allow us to accept PayPal payments and receive those subscriptions and activate the whitelist mechanism in the server. But the problem is the stupid Minecraft server is written in Java. I really don't like Java. Sorry if you do. Sorry, not sorry. I hate Java. Java is a cancer on the world. I'm not afraid to say it. I've worked with Java for the better part of 10 years and I hate the shit. It's the So instead of trying to write another plugin for the server, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a hack in Python, Py3, 3.6 to be exact. And what it's going to do is it's going to launch the server and hook the server process in Python so that I can execute commands in Python against the server. So remote administration, receiving payments, subscriptions, all of that gets sent via webhook. And now this receives it and says, okay, whitelist that person.
Time to recaffeinate.
Oh, time to recaffeinate. Well, shit, do I want to recaffeinate? Yeah, I want to recaffeinate. All right, let's recaffeinate. It don't take me long. When I'm on stream, I just use literal caffeine pills. Just kicks in faster. But yeah, so server's a lot of fun, but, and you would think, okay, pipe it. Okay, piping, yeah. Pipe where? The Java process, once started, does not accept input unless it's in like a screen session. Okay, fine. Granted, that's a thing you can do, but we're not in Linux here. This server is running in Windows. And I wanted to make something a little bit more robust. And guess what? We've got that option because Python is that awesome. So Java Bridge, running and interacting with the JVM from Python. So in my initial looking at this, this is a way for us to execute a Java program, aka Minecraft server, and then we can continue sending commands to the server afterwards. And when we have that capability, we can do anything we want with the code. We can make any kind of plugin we want for the server at that stage. Execute order 66, kill them all. Yes, that's a thing. But yeah, so this gives us the ability to do pretty much anything we want. If it can be done on the console with console commands, then now through this process, we can execute any command we like through Python. I need to do a lot of troubleshooting and kind of working through this problem, and I don't code too particularly well on stream. And I have a feeling that it would be very boring to watch just because, I've been doing most of the talking here. But if I start coding, I'm not good at multitasking on this. I kind of have to focus just a little hard here. But yeah, that's the goal. That's how I propose we take care of it. And we'll see how things go over time. I'll kind of check in with you guys with the stream and show you how progress is going, let you see the code. Currently, I've got this is on a GitHub. This is actually a GitHub thing. But I pay for GitHub Premium and I have private GitHub repositories. And I like for my code to be private at least until it's vaguely usable. Right now we are in the very pre-alpha stages of this. So I want to get some of the basic shit out of the way first and kind of work through the problem. Admittedly, I don't have a lot of experience with this specific library. So the process by which I'll go through and interact with this system is going to look very different depending on how they throw things at me. But I wanted everybody to be aware that this is kind of how we go about learning a programming language. Is you start with, you don't just, and I stated this towards the very beginning of the stream when we were just talking about the basics of like getting started in programming. When you are learning to program, you don't approach it like, oh, I can just walk up to the computer and read a bunch of books and know how to program. I'm sure there are people that can do that. I am not one of them, nor do I want to be. That's incredibly boring. What you do is you figure out something that you want to solve. You figure out a problem, a thing that bugs you, a thing that piques your interest, maybe something that annoys you or is boring, something like that. Maybe something you want to automate the boring stuff. And you go about solving that with programming rather than other means that you could potentially use. And you do that because if you've got an A and a B, you've got your starting point and your ending point. You know where you are and you know where you want to go. Then your brain will naturally bridge the gap. It will say, okay, I need to make something that connects to this thing. Okay, how do I do that? All right, let's do some Google. And you go through the process of working through each of the little steps that you have to accomplish in order to get the thing to do the thing you want. Now, it's going to take a while. And everybody's going to approach it differently, and that's the beauty of programming. But the act of just having a goal, of having a thing that bugs the shit out of you that you want to solve for, that's the majority of it. That's it right there. If you have a goal, your mind will work overtime to try and figure out how to solve for that. So in the instance of this guy, so I have an annoying Minecraft server. The Minecraft server, at least at this stage, it's really annoying because the server will freeze every so often. And it will unfreeze if I just simply hit enter. And it's the stupidest thing. But I don't have a way to just periodically hit enter. And that's a dumb, simple problem. Okay. How do I get it to do that? Well, I need something that can send a command into this window. Well, how do I do that? Let's go to Google. I need to have like a to the Google. All right, so sending keystrokes to Java from Python, because Python is the language I want to learn. In this case, I already know it, but we're gonna work through the problem. Simulate keyboard and input. Oh, look at that. What is this? Okay. So they've got a number of ways to accomplish this, but again, we're going to try to focus on the language that we're trying to learn. And again, if you're using Py 2.7, you're wrong. There is no excuse. Never, ever, ever, ever use Python to ever. There's no reason. Don't. Just no. I see you thinking about it. Don't do it. No. Just say no. Because Python clock, Python countdown, right here, in 9 months, Python will be dead. Do not do it. Do not use it. It's bad. Bad. Anyway, so we're on Python 3. We wanna learn how to do a thing. All right. So in this case, they've got one option here, which is AutoPy, and it's literally just simulating a key press. Okay, that's pretty cool, I guess. Okay, but I happen to know that Python allows you to launch other processes. And then if you can launch that process, then you can control that process. Because if like, for instance, the Minecraft server, if it's launched by Python, then Python knows where to go in memory to get that and interact with that thing. It has what's called a hook, a process hook, that it can actually talk to that process. It's much more difficult to hook onto a process that's already been started versus one where you just start the process. It's very simple to do once you've started the process. Oh, we've got the option to do it with Selenium again. Oh, look at that. Perform a control click element. Oh, this is talking about the WebDriver, so this is only applicable to the web browser. But see, what you're doing in this process is, I know the problem that I want to solve for. I have an idea of how I want to solve for it. So I'm just Googling each of the specific steps that I need to accomplish. And you go, well, okay, so I know the thing, but I don't know the first thing about like, what do I do with Python? How do I even, what do I do with that? And for some of this, I'm going to say, maybe you should just back this particular stream back up to the beginning and watch from the beginning, because we did go into very great detail. Well, I would say a decent amount of detail on how to get this environment set up with PyCharm, with all of these things configured. But once you get started, Python's actually pretty easy. There's a bunch of resources like Stack Overflow that will let you just search for a particular problem and get a good solution really quickly. So I can just say Python 3, how do I print text? Okay, how do I print text? All right, let's see. Oh, look, Stack Overflow. It's almost as if I've done this before. I feel like, so I want to print some text after I print my variables. Oh, maybe this is like what I'm trying to do, right? Okay. Yeah, all right, cool. And they just show you right there. Pretty straightforward stuff. And this is how you learn. And I want to say that there's some more glamorous way of doing it, but if you have a problem and you have a path towards a solution for that problem, that's how you learn to program. There's no magic to it at all, other than figuring out what that problem is that you want to solve for. For me, I haven't actually had a decent Python thing. Like I wanted something I could solve for, but I wanted to code, but I didn't know what I wanted to. It's like that happens to me too. Like where you feel like you wanted to code something, but you don't know what to do. You can't just sit there in front of a sandbox and go, all right, have fun. Well, I can't think of anything. Boring, right? So have that idea in your head, and that's how you'll learn to program. So I'm just kind of wrapping up a lot of the things that we discussed on the stream already. I think there were some other things that came up. I think that's it. So we got Python. We've got, oh yes. So while I got everybody here, so we do have a Discord server, and she's fresh and new and clean and brand new. Oh, hey, thanks, Alex. Thank you. Alex following on Mixer there. Glad to have you. But we've got a Discord server, and the Discord is needing some friends. We need to populate this thing. So if you head over to bhax.net, that's the official site of the stream. We've got the Discord server. You can just click right on there, join us in Discord. That'll let you pop right over to the Discord server. And you're probably just going to see the rules channel. Well, that's because you got to read the rules a little bit. It'll take you like 2 minutes. Just do what it says. It's not hard. You'll get access to everything on the channels. We have Thomas constantly posting the dank memes. Like literally, we've got like, where do you get all these things, man? You're just like nonstop with the memes. There's so many. But yeah, this is your place where you can ask me anything. And of course, we've got the option on the website. You can use if we scroll down to the bottom, we got the viewer feedback. You guys can ask me long form questions. I can answer them on these viewer feedback episodes that we'll be doing regularly. And you can also follow the channel. And we've got, maybe you don't want to follow. Maybe you're like, man, I got I got like 50 million things that I'm subscribed to on YouTube. I don't want to add this to that because I will never watch it because it gets buried under a million other things. I get you. I understand completely because that's how I am. I'm literally talking about myself. If you check out our events calendar, it's right here on the front page. If you just scroll right on down, you're going to see our live updating events calendar. And you can actually hit the little plus here and add it to your own Google Calendar and just follow us. It gives you the opportunity to see when the stream is live and have that kind of appear outside of all the rest of the clutter that I'm sure is all over your subscription feeds. So that gives you an opportunity to just see what's going on. It also, if we've got a special event going on, this is where that will be posted. Typically, we're going to post just like, the times that we're streaming. And also, this will update for whatever time zone you're in. So while that's 5 p.m. for me, if you are, say, in Slovenia, it might look very different. If you are in the UK, that's going to look very different. It might be midnight. So these times will update for your time zone. This calendar does update automatically for your specific times. That's an option. And so there's that. If you are watching currently on a particular service and you'd like to watch this on something else, guess what? We're streaming all over the place. That's an option. If you want to see where I'm at on the web in many, many places, we are all over the place. Got all my many, many places that I lurk. But I do lurk mostly on our Discord server, and you can hit me up there. We'll be playing games all throughout the week. This is our, we've got our Feed the Beast, Minecraft. We got Overwatch down here, any other random games. I didn't have Thomas or any of the crew on this particular stream because this is more of like a viewer discussion, technical kind of thing. But for our other streams, we do have like, I'll bring Thomas over or whatnot. And sometimes we'll play with viewers too. And we'll do that in the on-air live stream channel down here in the Discord. So there's an option there. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think we're done. I think we're good for today. Yeah. So yeah, thank you everybody for stopping by. And like I said, we're going to be making these a regular thing. We've got a stream tomorrow for Minecraft. It'll be around this time, actually, tomorrow. Actually, back it up a few hours, and that's when we'll start. You can check. You know where to go, right? I just told you, right? You scroll right here. Hey, look, streaming. There we go. Cool. We'll be streaming that, and then on Thursday we'll do Overwatch. Yeah, we'll add more if needs be. But thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you guys later.